The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. What is going on, my Go Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 309. We are streaming live, as always, on YouTube to over 150 countries worldwide. If you guys are interested in calling in, texting in, I guess we could call in. Yeah, sure. Call in, text into the show. Utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates over at Aegis Gun Care. That phone number is, I think it's 530-364-4678. It is scrolling down below. If you guys are veterans, really anyone, but especially if you're veterans and you're in that hole, you're in the darkness and you're looking for that light, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I cannot give you medical advice, but I could probably be a pretty decent ear, talk you through some stuff. More importantly, I can be a good ear just to listen, let you get what you need to get off your chest. If you are looking for someone that can get you towards some medical attention, remember two things. One, you are not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers out here that are willing and able to help you in any way possible. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255. Veterans, press the number 1. We are spotlighting, as always, United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title, United States Marine, see the website marines.com. And as always, we are a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network. Go check out all of your favorite pro-gun, pro-2A podcasts over at selfdefenseradio.net. Let's get this off of my ugly mug and say hello to the cohorts that will be helping us break out of prison tonight. All the way from the weirdest state in the union, the only state that has 4 letters and takes 2 people to spell it out. We got Chris from the 740. What's up, man?
Oh, not much. Thanks for the invite. Looking forward to hearing about TriggrCon.
TriggrCon, we will jump into TriggrCon faux show. It was a very pleasant surprise. I'll just say that much for me, from my point of view, and we'll hear from others as well. Standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. It is John, the soulless ginger bastard. What's going on, John?
Oh, not much. Just got home. Had a 4-hour delay in Dallas yesterday, which was great.
Yeah.
I was supposed to.
At least you didn't lose your first class seat like Chase did, you know.
Well, I mean, I think Chase had it worse off than I did. He lost it. He had to switch planes 3 times and lost his first class seat and got the middle seat. So
get the middle seat, and he said the dude that was sitting next to him was bigger than he was. You know that had to been a fun trip.
Yeah, all I know is that I was supposed to get home at 7:43 a.m., which would have been great. I would have had my whole day, but I ended up getting home at like 1. So it was fun. Gotta love the airlines.
Awesome. Gotta love the airlines. John, let's give you 2 minutes for the 2A. What's going on at GOA this week?
Well, first and foremost, we've got the interview that you did with Kaylee earlier this weekend with the gun czar, the White House gun violence prevention
protection office or something. Yeah. Mouthful.
That is a scary thing for our 2A rights, being that they have direct line to the president. It's being run by Kamala Harris. It's being run by 2 anti-gun lobbyists. One with
most importantly, it's being run by the executive branch with literally no oversight whatsoever.
Yeah. So there's that. That's a scary thing, a really scary thing. And then we just got filed for our preliminary injunction in Florida against the ATF zero tolerance policy on behalf of Kiloton Tactical and the FFL Coalition against the ATF zero tolerance policy. So that got filed today to fight them on that. And for those of you who don't know what the zero tolerance policy is, FFLs have 4473s. ATF comes in, audits them every couple of years. They're looking for errors. Most of the time, it's little errors like they spelt the county wrong, or they've misinitialed something, or something needs to be changed. It's no big deal. It's a couple points. You add up to a certain number of points, you get a slap on the wrist, and then you go from there to fix it. But now with their zero tolerance policies, they're going in and taking those little infractions and turning them into major infractions and shutting down FFLs, which for most of us, it doesn't sound scary. But if you live in a town where the nearest FFL is 45 minutes away and they shut that FFL down, and you got to drive 2-3 hours, that is not a good thing. And it's really hindering your and our Second Amendment rights.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. For those of you who don't know this, John is with the Gun Owners of America. When you hear GOA, some people may not know what the GOA is. I'm wearing actually my GOA hat. How about them apples?
I saw that.
It's an old school hat. I don't know how long I've had it, but I've had it for a long time. But yeah, so go check out gunowners.org for more info. More importantly, if you have any questions, what's going on in your state, they have a section you can find out what's going on all over the place and just kind of see what there is. And obviously, John, if there's something going on in someone's state that you guys might not be aware of or anything like that, obviously there's a contact us through the website, correct? That they may be able to contact you and let you know what's going on in specific bills that are out there, maybe?
Yeah, there's a contact us on the website. You can actually call in. You can talk to somebody over there. We are constantly fighting. There's a lot of things going on. So right now we're also fighting in California with the SB2, and that's through Gun Owners of California. And we're fighting in New York through Gun Owners of New York. And so if you got a question, go ahead and go submit it there. And if you want to submit a question to your congressman, we have a form that takes 45 seconds to submit to your congressperson.
Awesome. And riding shotgun is always with us. The little man himself. Say hello to my little friend. The tactical virus. Leprechaun himself. What's up, Clove?
Hello, Newman.
Hello, Newman. You had a little video that just dropped about half an hour ago.
Did Range Day from TriggerCon dropped? Yeah. No, I was going to say you're rocking the vintage TGWT tonight.
I am that guy's wife. That guy's wife T-shirt out there. It's that guy's wife.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. She may be a little bit disappointed with missing out this weekend. I don't know.
She would have had a good time. She would have had. I think
and we'll talk more about that. But I did not think that going into it. But having went through it now, I'm going.
I'm not gonna lie. I was optimistic. Maybe it'd be good. I'm not gonna lie. And we have Dave, marketing guru from TriggerCon, going to be here with us next week. But
Dave's
I'm not
here,
lie.
man.
Dave's not here, man. But even showing up Friday and walking in, I was even a little more worried about how I was going to go.
Walking in, we didn't even have to walk.
Driving up. Yeah, driving up. I was like,
Like, we didn't even get across the interstate or the road good. We just got like up on the off-ramp type place. And you're like, whoa, is that the place over there? I don't know about this. Anyway.
Yeah,
we'll discuss all that.
We'll discuss that. Yeah, so go check out Clover's range video. We dropped our range video a few hours ago, and as John mentioned earlier, we're going to be dropping a video every day this week from TriggerCon. So you're going to have to wait. Our video that dropped yesterday was a fantastic interview that I had with Kaylee with the Gun Owners of America about this gun control czar, if you will. It was a great conversation.
My range day video that dropped today will have at least one firearm you are guaranteed not to see in any other range montage. So there is that.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, we'll jump into TriggerCon here in a second, but you guys know that every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday at 10 a.m. over on our YouTube community tab, we have the pony polls. Go check out our friends over at Anderson Manufacturing. Anderson. Let's look through the pony polls, if you will, this week. Our first one had. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I got a notice today that I've got some Anderson stuff sitting at the local gun shop. Mm-hmm.
How about them apples?
Yeah, buddy.
You want some mustard with that Anderson stuff?
Oh, I thought you would say that. Did I want mustard with the apples? I'm like, not really. No, that sounds nasty.
I don't know. You ate some stuff this weekend that probably
and it was nasty.
To you.
I like mustard and apples. Yeah, but I tried it just to make y'all happy. Anyway, pony polls.
Wonderful. Pony polls. First one yesterday, 1.5 thousand votes. Which do you prefer, beer or whiskey? Chris, beer or whiskey, my man?
Beer for me.
Beer for my horses. All right. Clover, beer or whiskey if you were to partake?
Tequila's not an option, huh?
I was going to put liquor in beer, but I was like very, very widespread, you know?
Yeah. Well, liquor and then beer and wine, right? Like that's two separate categories. Yeah. But wine and beer is honestly a separate too. So
it is. Yeah.
It would have to be whiskey. I'm not a beer guy.
We start talking about beer and whiskey, and who shows up out there? TJ.
Of course.
He not that he would ever partake in any of that beer drinking at all. So answer the question, bro. Beer or whiskey?
Oh, I thought I did.
You did not. You were trying to wrap yourself around this and skirt that answer the whole time.
I did too.
You said tequila, and then you started talking about beer and wine and being different.
And then I answered your question, but you were rambling too. I said it would have to.
It's my whiskey. Show. I can pretty much ramble anytime I want. So.
Well, this is true, but but then again, well, yeah.
To refresh my memory, then are you?
Oh my God! For the third time, whiskey already.
Yeah, whiskey.
Oh my God. You sure you haven't partaken of some whiskey tonight? I mean, speaking of whiskey, good Lord.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ginger, beer, or whiskey?
Well, it's whiskey. I mean, I know some of us like Clover, like Long Island iced teas and tequila.
That would be Gizzard. That would be Gizzard Berry in the Long Island.
Gizzard was like Sheldon. This is tea. Yes, it is. This is the best tea I've ever had in my life.
Right.
7 teas later, he's like, hey.
7? It had to be double digits. Ain't no 7 to it. What are you talking about? 7.
I know of 7. There might have been more. I know of 7. Plus a couple shots.
It might have been, but it seemed like a lot.
Yeah. I helped him with 1, so.
Was it good?
There was 8, but it was legit good, but it was very, very good. Yeah, he had 1 sitting there, and it's like it was his second one. He had the first one. It took him forever to drink the first one. So he had the second one, was sitting there forever. And I just kept on looking at it, and I was like, all right, let's go. So, me, myself, and I pick whiskey, faux shizzle. 1.5 thousand votes. Pretty close, actually. 54% for beer, 46% for whiskey. Pretty even there.
Wow.
I think if I would have put like liquor instead of whiskey, it would have brought in tequila, vodkas, and all of that. I think that might have overtaken the beer, but we just went straight up beer and whiskey. A lot of comments about tequila and different types of other liquor, but It is what it is. The next poll was Saturday, 1.5 thousand votes. Which one? Now, these are 2 dishes that Clover was looking for on Saturday night, but they did not have them. Fettuccine Alfredo or spaghetti? Clover, fettuccine Alfredo or spaghetti?
Oh, fettuccine Alfredo, for sure.
Yeah. Ginger?
It's definitely fettuccine Alfredo.
Chris?
I'm going to be the odd one. I got to go spaghetti. I am not a fettuccine guy.
So far, you're going beer and spaghetti.
Yep.
Savage.
And the rest of us have gone whiskey and Alfredo.
Are we sure that Chris from the 740 doesn't live in a trailer park somewhere in South Alabama? Just saying.
Well,
beer and spaghetti. Like, really?
Beer and spaghetti is an interesting combo. Whiskey and Alfredo is an interesting combo also, but it's better. It's a better combo.
Yeah, a little more high end, a little more bougie. A
little bit. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go Alfredo for that. 1.5 thousand votes. 55% are wrong and say spaghetti. 45% say Alfredo.
Well, maybe they cut up hot dogs in it.
Okay, Sheldon. Now you're really going on a Sheldon trip here. It runs on water, man. We're going to talk about that also.
Yeah.
Yeah. 55 to 45. And our last pony poll, 2.4 thousand votes. You know, we always throw a gun question in there. Which one is more iconic? Not a better one. Which one is more iconic? We're going to be surprised at the results of this. The Colt Single Action Army or the Colt 1911? Ginger, I'm going to start with you. Which one's more iconic? 1911 or Single Action Army?
I would have to say, it's a tough one. Right? I'm going to say 2 World Wars. You know, it's
the entire West.
I know, that's why it's hard. I was going to say that because I live in the West. I'm going to say the Colt, but the Single Action Army. They're both Colt. Yeah. The Single Action Army, but
how many 1911 are you?
How many times have you been somewhere and somebody picks up a 1911 and yells 2 World Wars at any of the shows, and you pick up
way
a Single
too
Action
many.
Colt? Right. All the rest of them are just like eh.
Snob wants to know, does anyone know where you can get escargot in East Texas? Asking for a friend. We'll get into that in a minute as well. So you're going 1911. Okay. There's not a wrong answer. Not a wrong answer. You're kind of fuddy, so I didn't expect that. I guess 1911 is still FUD, but not as FUD as. All right. Anyways, Chris, Single Action Army or the 1911? Which one's more iconic?
I got to go 1911 too.
Wow. Okay. Clove?
Well, first
there's a revolver in play here. You know that, right?
I know. So first answer Snob's question. You can't get escargot here because we have access to pesticides. So there you go.
So no snails in East Texas, what you're saying.
right, exactly.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know what other people are doing. Like but yeah, we don't put up with snails around here. Anyway, yeah, Single Action Army. I mean, 2 World Wars all you want, but you know, tail end of the Civil War, Spanish-American War, First World War. Come on, like changed the game in so many ways. Like, yeah, Single Action Army. All the cowboy movies, think about that, right? Like, I mean, 1911's up until what, like the 80-ishes or so. I mean, Single Action Army might have been the most prevalent handgun in any movie, you know, as far as Hollywood and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of
because there was a lot of westerns. I'll say that, but
yeah,
either way, yeah.
No, I agree. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Single Action Army. I'm going revolver. I do believe that it is more iconic. Stop it. Let's not go. Stop. 2.4 thousand votes. The Colt 1911 wins it. Here's a surprising part. With 74% of the vote. The Single Action Army is only getting 26% of the love. I'm a little disappointed in people out there.
2 World Wars.
Savages.
The entire West. 2 World Wars, he says. Okay, whatever. All right, those are the pony polls for this week. Go check out our friends over at Anderson with AndersonManufacturing.com and see what they got going on over there.
Can you mount a Vortex red dot to a Single Action Army? Asking for a friend.
You can. There's a way.
There's got to be a way. It might take a little bit of work, but I believe it can be done.
Yeah.
It might be like a 45-degree angle. Would that work for you?
Well, it had to be a 90. That's
I
a straight up 90.
believe. No,
That'd be the opposite side of the loading gate. But
It would have to be on the other side. You give me the 45. No, you probably I don't know.
Clover, look it up.
We
I think
can make it work.
I think there's a piece that you can 3D print that goes into the grip frame that comes up and over.
And YouTube just demonetized this.
What?
Thanks, John.
It's already demonetized. I don't monetize my podcast, so it's all good.
Thanks, Clover. No, but I think you can find that file somewhere.
Yes, there are mounts for single action armies, and a lot of the newer stuff is drilled and tapped anyway. But yeah, that was rhetorical. Thus the asking for a friend.
Yeah. Let's get kicked into TriggerCon. Like I said, we were kind of talking earlier. I was looking forward to going for a lot of reasons. One, I needed a break from life for a second, and it was great to get away and see everybody and all that. But I was looking forward because I heard that last year from the creator side, I said it was pretty good because there was not a whole lot of people there. So I was like, oh, that could be kind of fun. And they did. I'll give a shout out to Rainier and to TriggerCon as separate entities for this fiasco thing. But they did a really good job on the promoting it and the advertising side of TriggerCon. So I was excited to go. Once again, we drove past and we drove up to the arena that the 2-day shows. It was a Friday and Saturday show and then a Sunday range day. And you pull up to this arena, but it is not an arena that one would think. This was a rodeo arena, which is kind of cool in itself, but obviously much, much smaller than what you would think is like a basketball arena or whatever. A little disconcerting maybe Friday when we get there, thinking, I might be able to walk this entire show in about 10 minutes. But it ended up being pretty awesome, especially Saturday's crowd was really, really good. The public crowd was there. And the range day, I'm not going to lie, for my money, that range day, aside from maybe hello, please mute. There you go. Aside from maybe one or two suggestions we'll get with Dave next week, I thought the range day was actually well organized. I liked the range day. A couple things. One, a bunch of us got hit with shrapnel. That was not fun. And two, all of the food trucks were all at one end, where I think they might have been able to put one or two on one end and one or two on the other end to give people options. Small details. The shrapnel was a real thing, though. Shrapnel was a real thing. They need to maybe fix that. But all that, I think Snob's on a phone call. When he gets back in, we'll have him jump in and say hello. Let's start with Clover on this one. We're not going to. Let's not go to highlights and all of that. Just overall, from where you were before you got there to when you left, I thought it was absolutely worth it, and I actually thought it was a pretty good weekend. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, it was definitely a good weekend overall. Like if you were to rate it going in, I figured it would be, and we're not talking about necessarily even the after events. We're speaking to the event itself and the things around it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Going in, I figured it would be, I'm going to give like a rating of I figured it would be maybe a 3 out of 10. Honestly, I mean, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. Early on, like you said, after getting up there, there was a time when I thought it was going to be a 1 out of a 10. I think fair. Overall it ended up probably around the 8 or so. Yeah,
no, I would agree. Yeah. I would agree. It's one of those things where when you're so accustomed to going to the SHOT shows and NRAMs and hell, even Wanamaker, these big venues and all these people, to me, it was actually refreshing to be able to just relax and not have the stress of having to see thousands of vendors and all that. This is, there was 100 or so, and it was very nice to relax and do good work, have a lot of great conversations and all of that. Let's bring Snob in real quick from the creator side. You went last year, And you're one of the reasons, Snob, that I went this year. As you said, for a creator, it was actually pretty good last year because there was a lot of people there. Compared to last year to this year, obviously, from what I've understand, it was a big step up in their game from last year to this year. How would you compare the two, and how would you rate this year's show?
They don't compare. Last year, I was literally there probably 4 hours. Saw it all one day. It was all combined range and show all at one place, all outdoors. And it was good for me as far as from a creator standpoint, but there was no one there. I mean, it was not busy at all. And I went on a Saturday afternoon.
Right.
Not busy at all. This year was a lot better, a lot more well thought out. And from a creator standpoint, they took good care of us. I mean, as far as having
100%.
drinks, snacks, all that stuff. Just having bottled water is a big deal. Like last year, they didn't have any of that. You couldn't even buy bottled water that I could find at the show last year. So you just had to get lucky, and a vendor had to happen to have some and give you some. So yeah, it was definitely.
They had the VIP party on Friday night. They had the media mixer Saturday night. We'll go into a little bit about that. But yeah, they did. They took care of us. They were very nice, very accommodating. If you needed anything, there were a ton of the TriggerCon staff available and walking around. If you needed anything, you could find someone very quickly, and they were if they could help you, they would help you 100%.
Yeah, and Dave walked up to me at range day on Sunday and was just asking kind of thoughts on it and what they need to improve and all that. And, how many times do you go to a SHOT Show or NRAM and the media person comes up and asks you what you thought of it and what they should improve for the next
and honestly are probably going to take your suggestions and try to do something about it, not just blankly asking about it. I thought it was very well planned.
I should have given him a suggestion about the media mixer, but I didn't.
We'll talk. Well, he's going to come on. Dave's coming on next week. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about that later on tonight as well. Let's bring in John, because John was there part-time as a creator, especially for like Range Day, but also there with the Gun Owners of America, and they had recorded a bunch of podcasts at night, and then they had a booth there as well. So you were wearing multiple hats. You were busy. I'm going to ask you 2 times. The first question is from the GOA's perspective, how do you think the show was from someone that had a booth and had to go through all of that stuff, and then also on Range Day as a creator, filming guns and all of that? How did it go for you as well?
From a vendor aspect, I think Dave was and Rainier and Trey. I want to applaud Dave because he apologized to us. Yep. It was very okay-ish for where we were at. Now, from the show floor, I looked a little different. We were up top, away from everybody, right next to the NRA.
You guys had a lot more traffic than NRA did. I'll just say that much.
You were right in front of the entrance too,
right in front of the entrance. That does help too, probably.
So I would have
it doesn't. I don't know.
From us, I would have liked to be on the show floor because once the people walked right by us, they were down there talking to people.
They weren't coming back up until they left. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have liked it, but Dave did make it up to us because we were supposed to be on the show floor. He did make it up to us. He put us on the big screen to promote our podcast, and I was very happy about that. So from that standpoint, I mean, you go to SHOT Show or any of the other shows, they don't really take care of vendors. This Rainier did a great job of taking care of us vendors. There was food, there was water. We had a little break area that we could go into. I was very happy about that. I just wish we were down below, and that has nothing to do with them. So, well, it does, but
it does.
There was a mixed up.
And next year, you'll get taken care of.
Yeah, Dave said he'd take care of us next year, so I'm not even can't be mad about it. But from an entrance from the beginning, Friday was slow, so there wasn't much.
It was scary slow.
It was scary slow Friday, but Saturday was good. In the morning, I walked the show floor most of the morning, talking to companies, and then I switched with Kaylee in the afternoon, and Kaylee walked the show floor. So maybe I didn't see as many people in the morning because I was downstairs most of the morning, but it was from a vendor perspective, I would say it was very well attended and good.
Yeah, absolutely. Clover's biggest highlight of the week is he left with 17 cases of Black Rifle coffee. So
Four,
if
which my
you're looking
wife
for
was super
some,
happy about, but 4.
and if you're looking for some, you might find some on eBay in the next couple days.
Oh,
I
I'm
just
pretty
figured
sure
there was a bunch of Amazon reviews on Black Rifle.
I didn't
There
think
will
about that.
be.
I gotta
There
go
will
look.
be.
Is Black Rifle coffee on Amazon? I'm
I
checking
have
that now.
no
Thanks,
idea.
thanks, Knob. No,
They're everywhere else. They might as well be on Amazon at this
they're
point.
in Walmart because when I sent the picture, like the first case I got, my wife sent me a
Mm.
picture back. Apparently, she had went to town, and Walmart ad was just carrying it like $3.98 or some crap a can, and I'm like, holy crap! So
And you got 4 cases of them.
4 cases, yeah. She was happy about it, but it'll all be gone in a week or 2. She'll drink every bit
I'm
of it.
sure. Real
If
quick,
you had a bigger trunk, you'd had a pallet of it.
Oh, I would have gotten more. I really should have gotten more because I could have, even if I didn't, because 4 was about the max limit as far as me feeling comfortable and getting a whole case, right? But I could have got Chase to grab one, or Ghost, or you, or anybody to just start grabbing them, especially at the show where I could take it out and just put it in the car.
well, you had TJ grab one for you.
Yeah, so I could have got multiple cases for sure, but I was being good, kind of.
Yeah. Real quick question out there from Marcus. He says, please tell us what was the absolute coolest trigger you guys played with. Let's start with Snob on this one. What was the best trigger that you played with this weekend?
So of course the Timney AR trigger is the best trigger. I have one. It's literally the best trigger there. I played with it again at the show just because it's so good. And all the other ones are fine, but the Timney's definitely the winner.
Yeah. Clover?
We're talking about just if we're talking about just a trigger. I didn't talk to or touch anything having to do with just a trigger.
Oh, okay.
No, not a single solitary thing. Not my bag of whatever.
No, I get it. I get it. By the way, for those out there, triggers, talking to my buddies over at Hyperfire, and they didn't have anything new to the market this time, but there's some stuff that they've been trying to get done for the last couple of years that's going to be turning out in It Shot. So be on the lookout for Hyperfire, some cool stuff. Obviously we'll talk to them and do some stuff with them in It Shot. But John, any triggers that you remember seeing or playing with that caught your eye?
I played with the Hyperfires, but that's about it. I didn't see anything else that caught my eye really.
Yeah. Timney's good. The Hyperfire are great. They're my favorite triggers, but I did look at the Trigger Tech stuff, and the Trigger Tech, I had never really had any experience with them and all of that. Pretty cool little trigger systems. So Trigger Tech was the one that stands in my mind because I had messed with Timney and Hyperfire and all of that. But the Trigger Tech wasn't bad. Go ahead.
I'll tell you who else had a good trigger that felt really good, and I didn't even know they were making a trigger. Is Stern Defense.
Oh yeah, Stern. That's right. I forgot about that.
The springs to get a different way in their cassette trigger. So
yeah, Stern had a lot of really cool products there. I was really happy to kind of get to know those guys a little bit better because they've got some cool products going from Stern for sure. But triggers, there's only a few trigger companies there. There's like maybe 100 vendors all together. So there's only a few trigger companies. Hyperfire, the ones that I saw, Hyperfire, I guess there were 4 now because Stern, Hyperfire, Timney, Trigger Tech, and Stern are the only ones. I might have missed one here or there. There might have been more, but those are the ones that I saw. And the only one that I had really kind of looked at that I was, let's go try this out, was a Trigger Tech. Now TJ's out there. He was there as well. He said Trigger Tech was his favorite. I think he's actually going to be doing some work with them, probably, I would imagine. All that. It's been talk about food. So let's talk food because we had some fun times. So, Thursday night is when I got there Thursday afternoon, and I had an appointment with John and Kaylee to record a podcast in their suite for gun owners with the State of the Second podcast. And first of all, John, thank you, and tell Kaylee I really had a great time. It was a great conversation. I can't wait for that episode to come out. I really enjoyed it. But afterwards, John and Kaylee were very nice enough to invite, I don't know, we probably had about 20?
Yeah, we had about creators. 20 people there, creators and industry people all together hanging out.
We had a big table.
We had the biggest table there. They probably put 3 or 4 or 5 tables together, to be honest with you. Oh my God, I got to read this crap. Okay. Shout out to G23, $20 super chat. And he knows that I'll if he super chat, I'll read it. I'll Ron Burgundy it. And it says 40 Smith & Wesson is king and 9mm is overrated. And if you believe that, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona for you. But no, thank you very much, G23. I really appreciate it. Is it
where G-Webs lives?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Now, when I say oceanfront, it might be like a kiddie pool, but we're going to go with oceanfront.
You can sprinkle some table salt in it, and it'll be salt water.
But it has a water feature for sure.
It has a water feature for sure.
Could be a bidet.
Some people call it a jacuzzi. The kiddie pool's a jacuzzi for some people.
Right.
I guarantee the dogs in the middle of summer, his dogs use that kiddie pool as an absolute cool down station. So, assuming he actually puts water in, he probably does. But no. Thanks, G23. No, but we went to. I'm not sure what it was called. I called it Thin Lizzy because I can't remember. I think it was called Tin Lizard or something like that.
Yeah, the Tin Lizard.
They're at the Kansas Star Casino. And like I said, there's about 20 of us there. Obviously, John and Kaylee are there for the GOA hosting the event. And we had a couple people from EAA, a couple from Forge that were there, a couple others, but the vast majority of the people that were there were creators. And we had them from, all over the country, and a lot of people that I didn't know, I had never heard of. So leading up to TriggerCon, seeing some of the people they were advertising as the creators that were going to be there, I didn't know a lot of them. So it was kind of cool to meet some new people.
I still don't know a lot of them. Is that sad?
This is true.
But yeah, they kind of kept, a lot of them kind of kept to themselves. They're not.
And in a way we did too. We were very socially active.
This is true.
But we all hung around the same 10, 15 people that we usually hang out with, which is fine. But that creator dinner hosted by the GOA was nice. I had me a cheesesteak, good cheesesteak. There was all sorts of, it was just bar food, bar and grill type food. It was really good though. So I want to say thanks to John and to Kaylee and the Gun Owners of America for hosting that dinner for sure.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys coming out to dinner with us. I mean, it was you guys, the normal motley crew, but then we had, tactical considerations were there. Dan, the gun guy, Smash Time, Fit and Fire.
Mark was there, yeah.
Yeah, Radical Firearms was there. It was a good time.
Radical was there for sure. And that was a really cool thing because we were having a conversation. We were having 7 different conversations at once through all of the table. But I was talking with either Snob or Clover or Paul or someone, and all of a sudden I hear someone says, "Yeah, man, we've gone through 100,000 rifles this year already." And I kind of said, I looked over and I was like, "Did I just hear you correctly?" He goes, "Yeah, we've gone through 100,000 rifles this year." And it was Radical Defense and Radical. Those guys are really cool. John, those guys are awesome people. Really enjoyed getting to know them. They have some incredible products you'll be seeing this week in our interview with them. But really got to a nice knowing them. And I had heard of Radical before, but I had never met them and never really spent some time with them. Really, really cool people for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why I really like doing that, because we got to get everybody together, and there were some people that everybody didn't know, and it was good just to talk, and have a conversation with everybody.
Yeah, and the way it worked out is pretty much all of us kind of set by different people than what we would have normally set with.
Absolutely, yeah.
True. The only thing different, I think that next time maybe we don't disperse, because we kind of scattered once that was done. what I'd like to
Yeah.
have done, knowing what we did with hanging around the bar area at those tables and stuff and kind of hanging out there in the casino. I wish there was a little more of the hanging out in the casino rather than hanging out in the restaurant. That way we weren't confined to our little area of the table type thing and could have moved
Yeah.
around a little more. I mean, maybe had a chance to meet some other people or talk, have more of an extended conversation, I say.
Well, we
with
went
folks
out.
that
We
didn't
went
sit
out
with.
out front. I mean, it was nice at night, so we outside. We went outside, and a bunch of us went out there and talked. But yeah, I mean, there were people that we knew,
But we could have
Um,
smoked indoors, right?
we could have smoked indoors, and that's what we
basically,
ended up doing eventually. But
yeah.
but
But
you're
now we
right.
know.
There
Now we
were a
know.
few. There were a few of the creators that I had never heard of that I would have liked to maybe make that was my fault to make a better effort to introduce myself.
Yeah. I think
There
we
was
all
a
dropped the
guy,
ball there.
and I don't know his name, and I feel bad, but there was a guy apparently was sitting like one seat down from me, like, and I didn't know. I didn't know him, obviously. Never heard of him, didn't know anything about him. And then like Saturday afternoon or something like that. So that dinner was Thursday night. So Saturday afternoon, we were kind of talking with people, and I was sitting back there with Mills and back at the media lounge for a second. We were both eating a sandwich, and there was a guy, and I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you." He goes, "Yeah, we were at dinner together Thursday night." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I was sitting right next to you, or one chair down." And I don't know, man, I don't think I was an ass, but maybe I ignored him, and he did not seem like he was a big fan of mine after Thursday night, because I didn't maybe give him as much time as he would have liked. I don't know.
Maybe he just met
So I
you before and
apologized.
knew you were an ass.
Well, I told him if I was an ass, then that means that I was just being myself. So that's a good thing, I don't. But no, but I didn't know him. Like I said, that's my fault. I might have tried to make. I should have made a bigger effort to maybe go meet some of the people that I had no idea who they were. But that we can do that next year for sure. Thursday night recorded with the GOA with John and Kaylee. Like I said, great podcast. Can't wait for that to come out. And then after the dinner Thursday night, a bunch of us, like I said, we just kind of hung out, stayed in the casino, and talked and hung out, and we're friends, just hanging out. And then Friday was the big night for some of us. That after this show Friday night, we went to. It started out hilariously. It started out as a joke that Chase and I were going to try to find a French restaurant, and so that we could get Clover there to have to read the menu at a French restaurant. And it was just a fun joke and all that. And then we found out that there was a French restaurant in Wichita that was rated 4.9 stars out of 5 stars with over 1,000 reviews. And I was like, this actually sounds pretty good. So I pulled the menu up on the line, and I was like, this is awesome. They had, everything that you would expect from a French restaurant, but I was like, this actually sounds, but they had steaks and different things for a little bit for everybody. And it was a little pricey, but I was like, well, let's see if anyone wants to do this. So we ended up going there. We had 9 of us, I think. Do we have 9? I think it was nine of us.
I think so. Yeah.
And we wanted John, but John was recording podcasts that night, so he couldn't make it. But there was 9 of us at this French restaurant, and so we got for appetizers. Everyone ordered their own dinners, and I got like the filet and with a hollandaise sauce, which I really love a hollandaise sauce. But if you guys are,
it's a holiday sauce.
Holiday sauce, yes, correct. Yeah. Holiday sauce with your creeps, yes. But I was looking forward to hollandaise sauce, because hollandaise is one of those that you can mess up. It's either really good or really bad, and you can kind of judge the chef's skill level with their hollandaise sauce. Anyways, but we ordered appetizers, and we ordered some poutine, which is basically French fries with some cheese curd and little. It's a really, really, really good. Should I call them French fries, or are they just fries at a French restaurant? I'm not sure how to play that game.
True. I think it's just fries, but yeah, there you.
Just fries. Yeah, it's kind of redundant to call them French fries.
Gravy, a little bit of meat, beef, a little bit of
gravy
gravy
in
there.
Little beef and gravy in there. It was really, really good. And we got some fried calamari, which is fried squid, and then we got the escargot, which is snails. And I'm not gonna lie, the escargot was absolutely incredible. It was basically simple. It was, inside like a little mushroom cap, but it had like butter, garlic. The sauce was great.
The bread was amazing. That goes with it too.
The French bread or just bread.
Was anybody else disappointed? It was a French restaurant. French are known for bread. And was anybody else disappointed that there wasn't more bread than what, like, other than that one appetizer? I don't think there was a single piece of bread on the whole table.
There wasn't. I think that there probably was if we would have asked, but I just assumed that we would have had bread without even having to ask.
Yeah.
But so,
at least with our meals came with bread. I didn't even think about it, but that is true.
Yeah. Like the French are known for bread. That's one of the things they're known for. So it didn't make any sense I didn't think about it until after the fact, but yeah.
Yeah. So we had some great hors d'oeuvres. Some people had the crepes. I had the filet and it was amazing. Maybe a little undercooked, maybe towards more like between rare and medium rare. But here's the thing. For me, I would much rather it be under medium rare than over medium rare. So I was okay with it. So Snob, what did you end up getting that night?
I had the ribeye, and if I went back, I would order it medium instead of medium rare because it would have been medium rare.
Yeah.
It was excellent.
It was excellent.
Potatoes with it were good. The mushrooms with it were
amazing. Oh man, those potatoes were great. Yeah, the potatoes were great. Now Clover wasn't real happy and wasn't too excited with the potatoes, but see, he was eating them wrong. So
no, bull. That's bull. Eating them wrong. How you eat something? So first of all, how you eat something has no bearing on what kind of spices and flavoring there is. But second of all, if there's a right way or a wrong way for you to eat stuff, somebody should tell you that. It should be on the menu or somebody should tell you that up front.
It was. You just didn't understand the menu.
Chase read that menu to me. There's no excuse.
Chase did translate the menu.
So they weren't bad. I'm not saying they were bad or they were gross. No, the escargot was gross, but I already knew that. I'm not saying they were bad or gross. I'm complaining because they needed salt bad. Now, thankfully, I had capers. I had rat turds on all my stuff.
You did have capers. You did.
Or rabbit turds, actually, is what it is. But anyway, so I was able to sneak some capers over with the potatoes every now and then, and that helped to the salt. You know what I mean? And so that helped. And maybe you're supposed to do that. I don't know. And if you swirled it around and the potatoes around in the butter sauce a little bit too, it helped as well. But it was okay.
What did you have, Clover, for your entree?
A grilled chicken and like a butter sauce, a lemon butter sauce type stuff. Yeah.
No, it was good. I was really impressed. I thought it was really excellent food, especially for going to a French restaurant in Wichita. Let's be honest. I was not. And when we pulled up, the neighborhood it was in was
for sure.
That's setting the bar awfully low, isn't it?
I know, but you got to bring it up. Snob's in here, so we have to bring it up.
When we pulled up to the restaurant, my initial thought was neighborhood's kind of sketchy for an upscale restaurant. You're talking $50-$60 steak, so it's an upscale restaurant. The neighborhood was iffy. And it was in a strip shopping center, but they took like the whole, like 3 or 4, businesses of it, but it's still, I was like, this is interesting. And then we tried to park.
Yeah.
And then I realized this actually might be pretty good because we ended up parking like down the road behind some like store in the alley. So maybe we start thinking, well, maybe it might be pretty good because there was
literally a block away.
And there was literally very nice cars in the parking lot too. So
very nice cars. So yeah, and for me, like I said, going into it, a French restaurant in Wichita, you're kind of skeptical. I would give it at least an 8.5 approval. If you're ever in Wichita and you're looking for some great fine cuisine, go check out. I think it was called George's French Bistro. It was incredible. Really, really, I'd go back again for sure. For sure.
Well, it had that 4.9 out of 5 rating. I'm the 0.1 guy because it was okay.
Yeah, but you're not happy unless you're going to like Cracker Barrel, though.
Well, Well, this is probably true, but
He's more of a McDonald's kind of guy.
like the Thursday night at the Thin Lizzie's,
Yeah.
was the best of the weekend. But and we'll
And
get to Saturday.
What did you have there?
Lizzie was the band.
I had the bacon double cheeseburger.
It is, but I don't remember. I remember we were walking up, and I couldn't remember the name of the band, but all of a sudden I started thinking of Thin Lizzie, and someone said Thin Lizzie, and so that's what I called it the restaurant. I think it's called Tin Lizard or something
It's
like
10
that.
lizards, yeah. But I had the bacon double cheeseburger with fries is what I had there. And I will get to Saturday night, but I will say this: the French restaurant was off the charts compared to the Sweel Saturday night. Oh my God!
Yeah.
I gave you my cheeseburger. Be nice.
You did, and I appreciate that. Because otherwise,
they didn't have a burger when I went through. So let's get to Saturday. So Saturday, we had the event was Friday, and then Saturday as well. The show. Unfortunately for Sam at Global Ordnance, Kat had talked to us
beautiful
on Friday and said, "Hey, tomorrow is Sam's birthday. Can you guys take care of cake and gag gift?" And that's all she had to say. I think she might have gone to us, Clover, because she knew we work in demented ways.
That's the thing. She didn't really go to us. She just mentioned to me, because you know how Kat is. She's like looking for an excuse not to deal with the public. So we were kind of sitting down just talking about stuff, and she was said it was Sam's birthday. And she's like, "Yeah, what I'd really like to do, try to keep this as family friendly the way that I like to roll as I can." But she's like, "Yeah, I'd really like to get Sam a cake with a phallic symbol, let's just say, on it." And
there you go.
And rainbows. But she's like, "But I'm so busy and I got so much to do, you know, with the booth." And I'm like, "Hey, chick, we got this.
We got
Say
it.
no
we
more.
Did.
Like we can handle this." And so, the shenanigans ensued from there. The trip to Walmart was epic.
The trip to Walmart, we need to find the video surveillance of our trip to Walmart.
Oh my God.
We had some people, Walmart employees, freaked out about some of the stuff we bought at Walmart.
So for those that are not aware, and I was telling this story to Jeff earlier, but for those that are not aware, and I've known for a while because all the Walmarts here in my area, I think carry it. In the Walmart section that has the, you know, condoms and lubricants and the things like that, the adult novelty, there are even more adult novelties that take batteries and so forth and so on.
Yeah, I was not aware of some of the stuff they actually did sell at Walmart.
Yeah,
I was not aware that some of the stuff was actually sold at Walmart.
And it's crazy. Jeff earlier, he said, you know, at what age do you realize, I guess, you're a prude? And he's like, apparently my age now, because I had no idea that Walmart sold things like that nowadays. Because once upon a time, they absolutely would not sell something like that in a Walmart, right? Like front and center, like any little 3-year-old to walk by and ask mommy what that is or whatever. Like, come on. But
yeah, we got the cake and we decorated the cake in a very professional way.
Yeah, we'll paint a middle picture here because the people out there, we know that the people watching and listening to this, we know their minds pretty much stay in the
and they know our minds also.
So we could definitely paint a word picture. But so imagine a cake, and the cake was pretty banging because it was a bunch of cupcakes lined up with frosting all in between them and all across the top that made it. It was a cupcake. It was a cake made out of cupcakes, which was pretty cool.
And we'll just say that on the cake was a chocolate eclair and a couple of chocolate donut holes.
Yeah, chocolate.
I don't know what we can do with those.
And a couple of chocolate donut holes. Go figure. Yeah.
And then we added some different things. TJ added his little touch to it, if you will.
Oh, TJ with the pearls, and you can imagine what you would do with pearls on a phallic cake, right?
Sugar pearls on a phallic cake, so you can imagine. And remember, this is going to be presented to Sam in front of the entire show, and we made sure that everyone in the entire show was there Saturday afternoon. We actually put his pictures up on the billboard, and Kat had him singing "Happy Birthday." The whole show came by Global Ordnance Saturday afternoon, and then we got to the gift bag, and that's when my demented mind had fun. Clover found some handcuffs. We made pink handcuffs, some unicorn socks. We're talking the easy stuff first. Got a little happy birthday tiara, and then we found the adult section of the pharmacy in Walmart. And let's just say we had a good time. By the time we got to the cash register, we had people questioning a lot of things about us for sure.
Well, let's just say one of the things in that bag was called the backdoor pack.
The backdoor pack, correct.
And it wasn't deadbolt locks. Just saying.
No. We might have found some jelly that turned up the heat a little bit.
Turned up the heat. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, we had a good time. So Saturday the show's going on, and at 4:30, about half an hour before the show ended, we had put the cake back in. They gave us room in this refrigerator that like the staff was using, so that no one would come in there and eat it. I don't think anyone was going to eat that cake when they first said, "Ooh," you know.
And we tried to get the right numbers for the candles, but unfortunately, all Walmart had was a 6 and a 9. So what are you going to do?
We had to make it work. You know, we had to make it work. So, you know, I know he turned 31, but we just weren't able to make that happen. You know. Yeah, they came over the loudspeakers saying the whole show. Like, so John, I don't know, like Snob, Clover, like on Saturday afternoon, it was pretty busy, like including vendors and media and the public and all that. Any guesstimate of how many people were there at its busiest point?
I'm going to say like 600-700 without vendors, not counting vendors and media, general public about 600-700.
Yeah. I was going to say probably about 1,200, but that was including vendors and media. So yeah, or 1,000, around 1,000 maybe, but yeah, there was for a small show, it was a good turnout. So let's just assume there's 1,000 people with media and vendors and everyone and staff and everything else.
Well, it had thinned out a little by that time though too.
Yeah. But the whole show sang happy birthday to Sam, and then a bunch of the different vendors. And there was some people in the public that came by, but a lot of the creators and a lot of the vendors, you know Sam. So there's a bunch of people over at the.
It was a little uncomfortable with the little kids coming up wanting a cupcake, but
yeah, and the little kids wanting to know what the jelly was and stuff. But it was all in fun and games. It was as tasteful as we could make.
But Sam, I was standing there and Sam took it like a champ. I mean, his reaction was great.
He put the tiara on.
We did not know. Yeah, we didn't really know how he was going to react. But I mean, he leaned into it. It was great. It made for even a better time that he leaned into it. And and when the little kids come over there, that's one thing I was impressed with, because the little kids come over there wanted a cupcake, and I'm like, oh my God. And Sam handled it so great, He
did. He was great.
It was amazing how he handled it,
It was fun. He got a little bright red face at first, and then he, like you said, he jumped right in and took it like a champ. No pun intended. So the show happened Saturday, the second day of the show, the final day of the actual show portion of it. And then Saturday night happens. And we could spend a whole week of podcasts on just Saturday night alone. There was a media mixer that was put on by TriggrCon and invited a bunch of the media content creators and all that. And then the general public could come in, and the whole idea was to just get people together to talk, right? In this fun environment. It was at this kind of a bar that had 10 tables, roughly 10 tables, and a stage and all of that. So you get there, and quickly you realize there is no way in hell there's enough room for as many people that are going to be there. And the band's playing, and you're not thinking about the band at this point. You got your tickets, you're trying to get a drink, and then the food starts serving. So we got a drink, and then we go to the food. Walking through the food line, and they're saying, we got burgers and wings and ribs and all that. I think I got 3 wings which to me were basically frozen drumsticks that had been air fried way too long. It was bad. It was bad. Now, I know some people were lucky enough to get a cheeseburger. I think Gary even got a little thing of ribs. I basically got 3 drumsticks and I ate one of them, and I said, I'll get something later. Clove, Snob, Ginger. Let's not go into the entertainment yet. Let's talk food at this thing. Anything on the food?
Let's just say I stopped at the deli in the casino after we got done hanging out because I had 2 sliders and 4 wings because there was a lack of plates as well. So that was fun.
I got a plate, but I had 3 little tiny wings, which were drumsticks, by the way. Bad. Snob, you actually, did I hear you got a burger?
Well, see, we got there a little bit late, and right as I got up in line, there was no food left. But they came by and like, hey, hang tight right here. We're fixing to refill everything. So I stood there for like 15 minutes in line with everybody behind us just standing there because there's literally nothing. And they came up and refilled everything, so we was able to get whatever we wanted. But it was still
must be nice.
The shrimp was the best part. The cocktail shrimp.
I didn't know. Oh, see, here's the thing. I saw the shrimp. I had a chance to get the shrimp. Here's the thing. I love shrimp. I'm at a bar, and they have a big old just container of raw cocktail shrimp sitting out there in the open. There ain't no way in hell I'm touching that stuff.
They were chilled and they're cooked. They were the best part.
I was not going to take. That's sad when like the cocktail shrimp was the best part of the meal.
Now the slider wasn't bad to me.
No, the slider wasn't.
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. They
no one liked me enough. No one liked me enough behind me to say, "Hey, Ghost didn't get anything to eat. Maybe she would like a slider."
You should have asked. I specifically said, if they bring any more burgers out, steal me one.
Yep.
I'm not very smart. So we had to stand up because at this point it's like the fire marshal. I'm glad wasn't there because he would have closed the place down. There were a lot of people there. I'll give them that, but there was only 10 tables the entire place.
To be fair, once we get to the entertainment,
to be fair,
you can tell that we would have been safe.
Absolutely, we'll get to that point. So we're standing and they're eating, and finally this table opens up. We come and sit down, and it's supposed to be this mixer, right? It's supposed to be a medium mixer where you get to sit down and talk with people. By the way, band, yes, sir.
Before we jump completely off the food, so everybody got 2 tickets. I'm assuming for drinks at the bar, for alcohol.
For drinks, correct.
I had to burn my tickets for Dr. Pepper, for Coke, and water. She took my tickets.
Correct, that is true.
For freaking water, it cost me a ticket. Like, what's up with that?
Is true.
Anyway,
this is true. At least you got 2 tickets. I got a ticket, and talking to Dave, it sounded like the media mixer was supposedly just for media, and they didn't tell anybody because all the vendors showed up too.
Well, there was a lot of people there. Yeah, there was a lot of vendors there. You're right.
Well, they need to put a little more control over it and say, "Get out of here. This is for media only."
This is true. You
had your event last night.
They had 2 guys at the door. They could have very easily said, "Sorry, guys."
Yeah, but
now they're probably not going to say no to the vendors that spending a lot of money to be there either. So
I was going to say, from their perspective, if I was in their shoes and vendors showed up, I would have done the same thing they did. Come on in.
Well, you just need to prepare for it
too.
Just prepare for it next time. Like, don't even bill it as that. Just bill it as a
mixer.
Event. Yeah,
just a mixer.
And, have it at a bigger place. Right, prepare for drinks. Have some type of free drink, right? That's not going to cost people money. Because, like, had I wanted another Coke or another water, I would have had to pay for it.
Listen to him. Listen to the whiny bitch talk. So
no, you're right. You're right. Water and didn't take a ticket.
Really?
I got 2 sodas, and they took tickets from both of them.
I gave TJ both my tickets because I figured he needed them worse than I did.
Need is a relative word. Needs a relative word. So we finally were able to start talking and hanging out. And then you realize there's music, and
Oh, is that what you call it?
I'm being very loose with the word
Gracious.
music.
You're being very gracious. I would say it's more. The word I would use is not music. I would lean more to call it squawking than anything else.
Squawking, a mixture of squawking and cats in heat, maybe.
I thought it was karaoke night at first.
If it was karaoke night, it would have been much better.
I could have handled that because I'd have been
we could have had fun.
At how
Yeah,
bad
we could have had fun with that.
Like, hey,
we
she's not a
realize it's this,
but she's trying.
I get it. I'm a big music person, and I love live music. I will give anyone live a chance because I love live music. This was hands down. I've been to a lot of music things. The worst I've ever heard. On top of having a terrible voice that was like screaming, like bleh, just like nails on a chalkboard. They had her. Now remember, this place is the size of us. It's a small bar, and so they had her levels up, and it was loud, and it was bad. And she's reading. She doesn't even know any of the songs they're saying. She's literally got her phone in front of her. She's reading the lyrics on every song. So it was just a disaster. You're trying to have a conversation, and if from the outside looking in, if someone walked past that and saw the conversations inside, everyone was like, looks like they're yelling at each other. We were yelling at each other because that's when we could hear each other. It was really, really bad. So what ended up happening is at least half of the crowd left, went outside, whether they smoked or not. The conversation went outside to the parking lot, and that's when we had a good time. What were we going to say, Sub?
I was just going to tell you. All right, so she sang "Sex and Candy." You know,
she did sing,
and here's how it went.
I love sex and candy.
Yeah, she didn't know the songs.
Yeah, it was the whole timing. Everything was off. Plus, it sounded about like me singing.
That right there was actually better than what was.
Give yourself credit.
It was.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad. I would say my suggestion to Dave next week is going to be either find a legitimate band and not like someone's sister that says, "Hey, I can find 3 guys that play some instruments and we'll call it a band for the night and get paid for it." Find an actual band or
an acoustic setup, right? Just a single dude,
an acoustic setup,
guitar,
yeah,
done.
Or just do a karaoke stage and let people, because there's a lot of drinking going on. There would have been people that would have gotten up on the stage, and it could have been a really fun atmosphere to have karaoke.
Well, groups could have got up there, right? Like
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So then that's not even the best part of the night. So then we go back to the casino, and we kind of owned this one section for the week, in this section of like 3 or 4 tables, and it was kind of right by the casino and right next to the bathroom. It was a perfect situation. That's kind of where we went every night and hung out and kind of owned that corner.
It was great.
Tables, bathrooms,
it was
Dr. Pepper, free Dr. Pepper around the corner.
Free Dr. Pepper around the corner.
Wow.
And Travis Tritt was in concert Saturday night at the casino. So we were looking forward to seeing the people watching after the concert was over, of the mixture of ages and outfits, if you will, coming from the Travis Tritt concert. And it did not disappoint. Somehow, some way, a Long Island iced tea got entered. A Long Island iced tea. What's up, Chase? Entered the equation and started the night on a roller coaster that will not be forgotten for a long time to come. The reason why it was a big deal is the Long Island iced tea was put in front of Gizzard Gary. It took him a while. I think he was actually drinking with a nipple. Took him a while, but he finished it. Immediately another one comes by. Sat there for a while. Now, me being the conscious friend of his, Is that our tables? Is that what that is? What is that, Chase? Are those our tables?
That's the tables.
So his, I'm gonna go ahead and, yeah, it is now. So I'm gonna. Those were the corner that we basically owned for several nights, and that must have been Sunday night when all of us had left. That Chase was lonely. Went down to hang out, and no one was there. But a second Long Island iced tea showed up in front of Gary, and he was not having it. Being the conscious and supportive friend that I am,
I've got something queued up. Oh, never mind. You went ahead and showed it. I was going to make you wait till later to show it till you got through with the story. But go ahead.
Okay. No, I'll take this off. Remove. How about that? And so, being the friend that I don't let anything just sit there and go to waste, I decided I'll drink this one. And most of you guys know I don't drink much anymore, hardly ever. A couple times a year. But I had a drink, and then all of a sudden, someone shows up with a round of tequila shots at our table. And so obviously we're not going to let those go to waste. And that's when the wheels fell off for the night. Sarge was having a good time. I'm not sure the exact number. I know Gary had 2 or 3 shots of tequila, anywhere from 7 to 12 Long Island iced teas. Needless to say, Gizzard Gary was feeling the flow, and it was fantastic. He was dancing at one point. Our whole goal was to find someone, some female, to come over and have a good time and maybe rub on Gary a little bit, you know. I met Winona Jr., or little Winona, not having it. During one of the shots, all of a sudden, from a roulette table or video roulette table, we start hearing Gary, shot. We look over and there's like this group of like 2 girls and 2 guys. They're couples and all that. And so we started interacting with them. And I'm not sure who told them. Actually, I know exactly who told them. But the rumor was that it was Gary. Does Gary know this, by the way? Should we make this public?
I think, I don't know.
Oh, no, I straight up told him.
Oh, okay.
You told him? Okay.
Did you tell him on Sunday or on Saturday?
I told him that night, but he may or may not remember it.
He don't remember that at all.
Yeah, he ain't remember that.
Should I bring that up or leave it out there?
He's out there saying he had 3 tequila shots, maybe, and 3 Long Island iced teas.
Yeah,
you don't remember what you had. I hate to tell you.
4 tequila shots, because I did 2 with him.
He was stealing people's cigarettes and was willing to go buy a $15 pack of smokes at the casino. It was a Gary that we had never seen, but it was great. He was dancing, he was laughing, having a good time. His back didn't hurt him anymore. And there might have been a rumor that going along that he was sick. And so this is what our job was.
He scored some chicks.
Gary was pimping, and he noticed the guy behind him. He was the guy in the overalls in the back. He looked like he was having a good time. He liked the view from that point of vantage point as well, I think. But yeah, we had a good time.
All right, so I will say, the girl in the picture on the left there, left looking at it, the smile on her face got really big whenever Gizzard took that one shot of tequila and licked the salt. That's all I'm gonna say.
We'll just say that Gary had an interesting way to get the salt off the glass that made that particular female very excited. So we'll just say it looked something like Gene Simmons was going to do to a cup or something, you know.
Again.
The best part about this is I am away from you all getting the play-by-play text.
Yes.
Oh, no. That was not the best part, John. That was the saddest part. I hate to tell you.
that you were enjoying this through via text message, because you could have been over. Well, you guys came over later, but
yeah, we came over. We were having a good talk with Tom.
The
Miner
problem
unfortunately.
is we, all 3 nights we ended up in the same seats and all that, so we were having a good time in these chairs, and we finally realized, I think it was Chase, went to use the restroom, and where our chairs were, our tables were, 100% you could hear everything we were saying.
Oh, amplified even. Yeah.
Amplified through the hallway of the bathroom.
Yeah.
So everyone could hear the conversations, which were fine. It's just, how friends are when they get together. It was interesting, to say the least.
That explains a lot of the looks when people came out of the bathroom.
Absolutely. We did have one person we thought disappeared for about half an hour. We weren't sure what happened to her. She walked into the restroom and we didn't see her. And then half an hour later, she walked back in the same way. We're like, we never saw her come out. All stripes. So, yeah, it was a fun time. But seeing Gary in a different light, seeing Sarge in a different light was kind of fun. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time had by all. I want to say that the earliest that we went to bed all weekend was at least 2. But I'll say this: we didn't have to wake up at 5:30 or 6 like we do at Shot and Ram, because the hours of the show were like at 10 o'clock. So it was kind of nice. We could sleep until about 8, 7:30 or 8.
So just so Gary got us in trouble too. A lot of folks that don't know this, because Snob, Gary, all them left, right? They leave. Y'all leave. And we're still sitting there, and John's there, and Chase is there. John may have even done left. I don't remember, but I think John was there. But we're sitting there, and we hadn't left yet. And the security comes over. You remember that?
This
and
is
all
true.
All of y'all's Long Island iced tea crap and tequila shot. And she was
The whole
mad.
table was full of
she starts grabbing cups off the table and throwing them in the trash. And we're like, what's this chick's problem?
Because it was 2 o'clock in the morning. She said last call wasn't over an hour ago.
Like, those ain't ours, chick.
First of all, yeah, I said, first of all, last call at a casino? Like, a bar closes at a casino? I've never heard of such a thing.
Right.
And it says, second of all, if last call was at 12:45 and it's now 2 o'clock in the morning, like, why did it take you an hour and 15 minutes to come get those cups that have been empty for a while at this point?
Third of all, that wasn't ours. Yeah.
Third of all, they weren't our personal cups. They were our friends, but we were drinking Dr. Pepper most of the night, except for TJ.
After the tequila shot.
After the tequila shots, and I had a Long Island. I was drinking Dr. Pepper. Now, TJ, on the other hand, TJ did not have Dr. Pepper that night.
TJ did not have anything all weekend that didn't have alcohol in it.
Yeah, exactly. Ever.
It was interesting on Saturday morning. Woke up about 7:30 or so, took a shower, went out to the front porch, smoked a cigarette. TJ comes out.
Pop.
Yeah, I think he had 2. I know he had 2. He might have had 3 in the half an hour. Hey, baby. Before we left for the show that morning. So, and it didn't stop. It didn't stop until 2 o'clock that night. Matter of fact, he might have had 1 or 2 when we got home. We didn't go to bed till about 3, because every night we got home, we stayed up for about an hour. I think he had at least 1 or 2 more.
Because I think what he said was he had like 6 or something, or 4, and he's like, I'll have 2 tonight, and I'll leave me 2 for in the morning or something.
That's true. That's a true statement.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That kind of explains why all those security guards gave us a dirty look the one night, because they could hear us talking in the bathroom about them.
Yeah, I was not aware that was the thing. So,
well, we weren't talking about them. We were wondering what was going on, because they were like bringing the SWAT team into the men's restroom.
That's true. They did. They escorted some dude out, didn't they? Was it some guy they escorted out or something? Yeah.
No, he snuck out. Remember, like 9 of them were waiting on him.
Yeah.
They
that's right. That's right.
And then he zips it right out the door. They're just like, oh, there he went. Oh well. Yeah,
they were going to detain him, let's say, and he slipped out the exit before they could detain him. So. It was fun. It was a fun time. It was a really good time. Chase, want to bring you in real quick. Let's kind of get back to TriggerCon. From a vendor's point of view, this was This was this EAA's first and your first part of TriggerCon, correct? EAA had never been to TriggerCon before.
Yeah, EA had never been. I had never been. This was our first time. I've wanted to go to TriggerCon when it was in Washington, when Rainier was still in
Washington, yeah.
Washington. Never got a chance to go. COVID ruined all that for everybody afterwards and their stupid laws.
Yeah.
But, didn't get a chance to go last year when they revived it. So this was our first trip. But I think overall it's a pretty cool event.
Yeah, I was a fan. I enjoyed it. I liked kind of the quaintness of it and all that. I really liked the range day. It was one of the better range days I'd been to in a long time.
One of the worst ranges, the better range day. Like the steel was a absolute.
The range was fine.
Yeah, the range was
the
fine.
steel was terrible.
That
like
was,
shrapnel flying everywhere. Like
I
literally.
literally asked one of the RSOs, I'm like, where'd you get this Wish.com steel that is literally pelting me every time we shoot something at it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they moved everything back, as a matter of fact. And it's steel.
Yes, they did.
I was shooting steel, no kidding, at 100 yards, and stuff was coming back on me enough to bring blood. That's not even right.
Yeah, well, we had Stern next to us, which is fine. We got along great.
Oh, yeah, they had that automatic, that full auto 45, yeah.
Every time that 45 would cut loose, we were both getting just drenched in it. But
Yeah, it was not good.
I mean, TJ.
He just got. I think that what we need to do is in Vegas, we need to present TJ with a Purple Heart from TriggerCon's range day. He got a massive piece of shrapnel in his, as he calls it, side fat, and it bruised up like big.
Oh, it did.
It was
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, he got hit bad. Well, I got hit plumb back when you remember we were sitting back in the media tent, which is nowhere even close to the firing line. Remember, I'm sitting there and I'm like, ow, what the crap? And it hit me in the hand and brought blood.
Yeah,
that far back.
That's the thing. Yeah, it was a thing. I think I had.
What's bad is that far back. How many people would take their iPro off because they're that far back from the firing line? So it's super dangerous. Like, it's bad.
I counted that night. I counted 4 little nicks that I had received. There's no telling how many things hit my clothing that that we'll never know.
Yeah.
I'll say this, and I'm gonna bring you guys in. You guys can talk. Chris, I'm sorry, bro. I know you're probably bored off your ass. But jump in if you have any questions about TriggerCon for sure. But I will say that one of the coolest things happened to me at range day. And it was not intended whatsoever. So Clover and I were sitting down at the media tent, which is at the very end of the range. And it was like, when I say a media tent, it was like a table with 4 chairs.
Oh, it was literally
it was a table with 4 chairs and a pop-up canopy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a pop-up canopy, yeah. Now Marcus says, hey, Ghost, I saw the video of you with the 45 ACP. It seemed short. Was there a malfunction or did the gun just shoot really fast? The gun shot really fast and they only gave you about 5 rounds. So it's and it's gone. So anyways, but yeah. So we're he and I are sitting down, getting off our feet for a second, taking a few minute break, smoking and all that. And right next to us was the Barrett booth. And the Barrett booth, hands down by far, had the biggest line at range
that
day.
line. It's on my video I dropped earlier. There
you go.
Check it out. Yeah.
So and the whole line was basically the general public. I didn't see any creators over there, and all that. So there was a massive line, the general public. Yeah, the line was too long. Yeah, creators were not going to wait an hour to go shoot one shot, from a rifle. Anyway, so it's a long line, and this guy had just shot his one shot with the 50, and he's walking out, and they gave him the brass, and so he was kind of looking at it. It's kind of cool, and he had the biggest smile on his face, and he walks over to his buddy at another booth, and he's showing him the brass, and like just getting all giddy and smiling. And I look over at Clover and I said, it's stuff like that makes this all worth it. We're very lucky. Everyone in this room here is very, very lucky to do what we do. And we go to these cool range days, and they're closed range days, like the public can't even get in and stuff. And we get to shoot all of these cool things all the time that are just amazing and all of that. And I think we take for granted sometimes. And you know, that guy right there that shot this, that might be the only range day that he ever goes to in his life. That might be the only time in his life he's going to shoot a Barrett 50 cal, which is an experience. You know, all of these things happen, and you sit back and just kind of take it all in. It's like, you know, we're very, very lucky with what we do, but it was refreshing to see. That's what I told us. That's what it's all about. That guy is going to remember this day forever. He got to go shoot a Barrett 50 cal. They gave him the brass. I mean, he was just happy. It was like America. It was like, oh, this was a beautiful sight. And you see that when you start taking a step back and you're walking down the whole line and going down to the different booths, and there's people just smiling, and there's people that will probably never get to shoot a full auto in their lives ever again. And they're getting to shoot a couple full autos out there. And it was beautiful. It was right. The kids that were there. Absolutely. Yeah. And it just made you think, and you're just like, wow, like this is a really beautiful thing that we're here. And I think sometimes, not us, but I mean, in general, I think a lot of people in the industry and in the media, we kind of lose track of that sometimes. And it was a really cool thing to be at a range day with the public there also and see their reaction to the guns. We've all shot before, you know, many, many times. And they were having an absolute blast. It was amazing. Go ahead. Whoever was getting ready to talk.
I was just going to say, I think we all, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, well.
No, go ahead, Snub. Okay, John, go ahead. Damn it. Go ahead, John.
All right. Well, the thing that got me was it was funny because some guy walked off the Barrett line with his head covered.
He got a scope bite.
He got scope to the thing, to the head.
And it wasn't a bite. They took a chunk because it was bleeding. Yeah.
Most of us would like be done for the day after that.
Oh,
I saw him like an hour later chugging along, smiling and laughing. So a part of me was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, this guy's having a good time. He didn't let something stupid ruin his day. And absolutely. I was kind of excited about that one.
Real quick, Ozzy out there says, goes, where is TriggerCon next year? I'm going to assume it's going to be in Wichita because that's where Rainier's office is now. I have to assume it will be in Wichita again, but I don't know. I don't know, Ozzy. I'll find out for you. Dave from TriggerCon, the marketing guru of TriggerCon, Rainier, will be on the show next week, and that will 100% be one of the first questions I ask him. Snob, go ahead, buddy.
Well, I'm pretty sure Dave told us it was guaranteed it was going to be back in Wichita for sure next year at least. But I was just going to say that even us, we all take it for granted, you know, and don't think about some of the things we can do and how hard it is. I mean, truthfully, you have to go to a range that has full auto, rent full auto from them, and all that stuff to get to shoot full auto, or the same way with the 50, because so many people don't have, you know, access to that or don't have a way to shoot them.
Yeah,
and we do take that for granted.
And pretty much every range day. And every range day that we all get to go to is being what we do and what we do. There's always full auto there. So and I shot at full auto for, you know, forever back in the day. But I mean, like, full auto doesn't get us excited. Shooting a Barrett 50 doesn't get us excited anymore. But for some people, that's a life-changing experience, you know.
But it goes further than that. I mean, I know y'all are getting into full auto, and I get it. I totally agree. I've seen the Barrett guy. I understand. But Korth, you're able to shoot a $6,000, $7,000 freaking revolver there. Like,
exactly.
Even me, like I'll probably never own a Korth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So any chance I get to shoot a Korth, and I didn't, I passed up on it just because of the line, and we were trying to get out of there. But yeah, I mean, there's just the variety of things you can shoot. I mean, even if you go to a range and they have rentals, you got to pay for each one of those you shoot.
And the ammo to shoot those.
So you go to this range day, you ain't got to pay for ammo, you ain't got to pay a rental fee, and you go down the line, and how many hundreds of guns literally can you shoot? Like, that's amazing for folks. It really is.
And the weather was perfect.
There's a lot of people that probably have never shot suppressed. They shoot suppressed there and like, oh, I got to have a suppressor now. Or, you know, There's,
Oh my God.
even like the staccatos.
There were
how many people
so many
never get a chance to check
suppressors there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the staccato. I mean, there's just, it was one of those things that if you sit back and looked at it from a vantage point, like, and it hit me when we were sitting there watching the Barrett booth, and I was like, for some people, this is as good as it gets when it comes to firearms in their life. They'll never do this again. They'll never shoot some of the guns they're going to have to shoot today. And like I said, I said, it's kind of sad that some of us, including myself, take it for granted sometimes, and we don't realize how lucky we are to be able to do what we do and go to some of the places and events that we go to. Speaking of which, SHOT Show registration for media has opened today. I would imagine that a lot of us in this room, I know obviously John and Chase are already because they're not media. I got there. I'm sure Clover, Chris, and Snob, everyone's probably gone. By the way, thank you, Snob. I owe Snob a public thank you. Snob saved me over $200 in airfare. I got my round trip ticket to Vegas for $198 today, thanks to Snob. So
I just got an email, or actually it was an alert on my app from my Southwest.
Well, see, I looked at it later and I got them. I just didn't pay any attention to them, right? I had gotten them earlier.
Did you see the NSS actually posted it from SHOT? Saying, hey, everybody. Yeah, they did. Hey, everybody, Southwest got a ridiculous deal just in time for registration today opens. So I thought that was pretty cool.
50% off the flights on Southwest.
Even if you're out there and you're not going to SHOT, but you're thinking about going somewhere, and you have until Thursday to buy your tickets, but it's 50% off your tickets. It's costing me $201 round trip to Vegas.
Wow.
Southwest.
Mine was $198 round trip. That's incredible. So I called TJ and told him, because usually he flies a different airline, and I said, you just need to go on to Southwest and see if you can find some flights, and tell Jeff, because Jeff, if Jeff can save $1, he's gonna go ape shit on this.
Yeah, I texted Jeff right as soon as I texted you all and told him.
So I publicly appreciate Snob. So I'm done. I've got flight. Our house has already been booked now for a couple weeks. Got the badge and all that done. I'm ready for January at this point.
We've had our house for a while. I booked the flight and a minivan this year. So.
Oh, you go with a minivan this year?
Yeah, it was like $400 cheaper than the Suburban van last year.
Oh, I will not make fun of you with a minivan.
Real cars are insane in Vegas right now.
Travis says, how easy is it to register your cameraman if you want them with you at SHOT Show? My dad volunteered to fill this role if I go. First of all, it's not easy at all. Even for you, Trav, I mean, there are certain things you're going to have to do, or you might not get approved the first try.
Yep.
Get in touch with one of us. As far as your cameraman going, that's very difficult. It obviously can be done.
It's until you are established and in the first time. Getting quote unquote crew in can be super difficult. But I mean,
get with us.
Get on the ball.
If you're going to go,
you get on the ball now. I mean, maybe, but you're going to.
Yeah, I would love to see Travis there. So yeah, give us a call. I mean, you guys, you have all of our numbers. Give us a call and yeah, 100%. I hope you do get a chance to go. I don't know. I mean, it might work, but I know Chris was his first time last year to SHOT, and you got your son in as a cameraman. So it took him a little while as well. So
my problem is his name and my name are so close that and it's throwing another. We talked about that before the show started. It's throwing a wrench again this year. But I just got to get a hold of.
Just get with Peter or Bill.
Yeah, and they'll. Yeah. We went through this last year.
I think you had Peter earlier.
Got right through.
I had to. So my wife, I've had to change her email And if you change anything, understand this about SHOT Show. If you change anything from your
Yeah,
previous
you're
registration,
screwed.
it's an absolute freaking nightmare. It's like basically you start all over, which is
Obnoxious learned that the hard way
ridiculous.
the second year because he used a different email than he used the
Well,
first year.
I had to change my wife's email. I've changed website servers and all that this year. I mean, there was no choice. And I've already been in communication with Peter and Bill. They were expecting it, but that's the thing now. So I'm adding somebody else to mine this year, a crew member, and then I had that with my wife. So yeah, my stuff went through fine, Ghost. Kind of like you said yours took 5 minutes. Yeah, it took me like less than that too. I mean, it was very quick.
Literally, I hit submit, and by the time I went to my email thing, I already had the approval in there. Like literally, like seconds.
Yeah, but if it's your first time, we're not BSing you, the sooner the better. I mean, you should have been in preparation over the last month, in my opinion. And then as soon as it opens today, you should have been on it with that. So.
Yeah, Trav's out there. He's saying he's no longer probationary at his work. He has some time to take off. Nice. He also says that I know that some of the larger channels have crew. It's not getting the crew. It's not that there's no size restriction as far as who can have a crew. Anyone, if you're approved, you can have a crew.
It's the groundwork.
There's a lot of hoops you have to kind of jump through and all of that to get that crew. So it's nothing to do with size.
Chris had been talking to us last year long enough beforehand that he understood.
And Chris, you were like at 1,000 or 2,000 subs last year. You get approved with your crew, so the size really doesn't matter as far as that.
I think the biggest thing is have that established website and have your crew that you're taking with you on that website.
That's the biggest key. Yes.
I was going to say, Travis, just whatever you do, talk to somebody before you register. That way you get it all lined up ahead of time, and I'm sure you'll get it done. But you just have to have everything.
Like they know to expect it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had an issue last year.
And things you're going to have to do on the back end of your website and videos and YouTube and all that to ensure this all works smoothly. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, that's the issue I had last year, and I just emailed Peter, and he told me what was wrong.
Peter's awesome, man.
I fixed it and got approved immediately. It wasn't that hard. Once you do it, it's not that hard. You just have to know. It's knowing the steps.
Yeah, there are certain specific steps when it comes to SHOT Show registration that you have to know ahead of time. And luckily, we had people, we all first started out, Clover and I did, that helped us. And we've helped other people that we want to go. So like Trav, you have all of our numbers. So just call us, text us, and we'll get you there. Faux shizzle. Yeah, shots done. Can't wait for that. Chase, real quick. I don't know if I brought Chase in and asked him what he thought about the show from a vendor side. Did I?
We started to talk about it a little bit, then we got sidetracked.
Yeah, go figure, right? We get sidetracked? No. From your side, yeah. So from your vantage point, overall collective Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the traveling up there and everything that goes into doing a show as a vendor, how would you have rated from what you thought it was going to be like till when you left, Monday morning? What were your thoughts on TriggerCon as far as from your perspective of it?
I mean, travel out there is what it is. It's travel. I mean, travel to and from. Yeah. That's something we're just used to. It's being on the road, flights, headaches, all that stuff.
Getting kicked out of first class, all sorts of stuff.
All that crap. Getting to the show, and like, hey, your hotel room's not going to be ready for 4 hours. So, like, well, let's just go set up. We got there and we didn't have our stuff. It was on the wrong truck. So they're bringing us our booth equipment, basically. That was fun. But they got it handled. Talked to Troy, talked to Dave. They got it nailed down. So I can't say anything bad about TriggerCon. It was the people that put the shows together for them that are, it's not their fault. It's those people that are difficult to deal with. I deal with them a lot of shows because they travel around the country to do all this stuff. But
yeah,
I understood going into it. It was the second year of this, so
right.
I had a certain level of expectation. I wasn't like thinking this was going to be SHOT Show light walking into it, but I think it turned out to be a pretty decent show.
And without disclosing too much, sensitive information, compared to a lot of other shows, was the barrier to entry cost wise for you guys, basic barrier to entry, right? Not extra things. So was that reasonable, all things considered, or what do you think about that?
All things considered, I mean, the show is pretty affordable comparatively to like a SHOT or an NRA, like some of the big events. Comparatively, it was pretty affordable. It's in line with like USCCA and stuff like that, which is kind of what I would compare it to. The upside is you get a full actual range day here versus a trailer and a couple RSOs taking you into a select number of guns to shoot every once in a while. You had an actual free for all range day, which is nice.
Yeah.
Personally,
and for me, range day was, aside from the extracurricular stuff, for me by far the range day was the highlight of the show. For me, I thought they did a great job with the range day, aside from the Alibaba steel that they used. But
yeah, that was my one. Yeah,
what's that, Snob?
Attraction.
I just said they got that steel from Temu. Be nice.
Yeah.
Oh my
god. So I'm gonna go around the room real quick. I mean, Clove, you going back next year? Was it good enough for you to plan on going back next year?
It was close enough. The ROI was definitely there. All things considered. Excellent time with the after event, hanging out, whatever stuff. Yeah, it's on my, and I've already sent an email to Dave with a long list of what I like, what I didn't like. I know he was going to be on. Dave's not here, man, but he's going to be here next week.
Dave's not here, man.
So I'm sure we'll discuss a lot of that. I didn't get into a lot of that in this, but we'll probably discuss. No need if he's going to be there. We can kind of hash some of that out. But I told him the same thing. Like it's I'm not. The complaints that I have are not like I'm never going back complaints. It's just like, hey, I'd like to see this happen. I think this could be better type things. The steel on the range was the absolute worst in my opinion, and I think that's pretty easily solved. Can't tell me they couldn't get a brand new steel target sponsor for that or something, right? To send them several hundred steel targets out. Come on. But anyway, with the distance, right? Worst case,
for me, it was
even with
6.5 hours, it was easy.
Even with like on the way up there with some traffic was a pain and some other things and some wrecks I encountered, but coming home with some weather and different things, I had
the last 45 minutes for me from the interstate to my house got a little sketchy. I was a little tired. The eyes might have like dozed a couple times on the road.
I couldn't. The last 2 hours home for me was at night. I got home just before midnight, but the last 2 hours were at night. And straight up monsoon season style driving. I'm talking about wind, rain, lightning, crazy. So there's no way I could doze. I mean, the weather was entirely too bad and had me on my toes. So that was probably a good thing there. Yeah. But, all things considered, if weather and traffic and everything was perfect, I mean, you're looking at a 7 to 8 hour drive for me. Most, I think, going up there was 9. Coming back was closer to 8, something like that. And so, all that considered, Wichita is not that expensive a place to hang out, to get in, to stay, lodging and stuff. So, yeah.
Beautiful, Chase. Beautiful. John, I don't know if you and Kaylee and the GOA have discussed it. Obviously, you've discussed. You're talking about next year. They're going to promise you. I mean, but is this something that GOA is excited about going to next year? I mean, they think that it could keep growing and growing and growing. It'd be kind of cool to see where this goes 5 years from now,
Well, I would say yes, but we also had 6 events this weekend. And so
we had the AR15.coms thing going and GRPC going.
We were really spread thin. I would have liked to have an extra guy or gal with us, just so Kaylee and I could do our media stuff and get some more conversation instead of us going down there and having the same conversation twice.
Or just have someone manning the booth for you, you know.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm trying to get. We have
so John,
get an intern or something.
That's what I was fixing to say. Couldn't you put something out? I don't know if y'all got a Wichita branch or a Kansas branch or not. I know you've got GOA Texas. So could you get somebody like that, or maybe even like a life member or something, volunteers or something that you could get some type of help in just
Kaylee's a bit of in a good way. This is not derogatory. No. Kaylee, I think, is a bit of a control freak. I don't think she wants someone that doesn't actually work there giving the message of GOA to the public. Maybe that's just me though.
Yeah, I'd like to grab somebody else, but we had an event in St. Louis, we had an event here, we had an event there. So we would have liked to pull one more person in for us,
and maybe hopefully there's not the same amount of events going on next year. We can have a couple extra people, you know,
because for us, our big wins are always doing our partnerships and going down and talking to companies about partnerships and the ROI after everything was said and done. If I can get everything that we talked about done, the ROI was there. It was a good time, and I think we'll most
more
likely.
We got to record some podcasts with a couple of really cool guys.
I mean, only 2 of them are in this room, but just
that was worth it.
It was worth it.
That was enough. Just us 2 was worth it.
I was talking to Ben today, and he said our best podcasts were filmed this weekend. So that's
good.
Yeah, it's good. Going to be good.
Well, y'all are improving and stuff too. So I mean,
yeah, and it's going to take you guys. It's going to take you and Kaylee a long time to kind of figure out each other's rhythm and all of that stuff. But you'll get better and better every time you go. You know, for sure.
I mean, for your show, I couldn't get a word in edgewise, so it was fine.
I had her going though, bro.
Oh yeah,
I had her going.
I'm going to say this is probably going to be one of our best episodes when it comes down to it. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that one.
I'm looking forward to seeing. I was there, obviously, and I remember the conversation. But I want to see it from like the third person view and see, like, I think she was getting mad at me at some point. I know she was mad at me at one point, but I want to see if that anger comes through on camera. That's what I really want to see, you know.
I want to see if you hear me giggle in the background.
Oh, that's definitely or Clover playing with his little tab on his can that was making everyone noisy.
Is that what I was hearing? Because we stopped.
That's what
Chase said it was.
Yeah,
but it didn't sound like that to me. The noise I heard sounded more like a dinging on a video game or something. It was almost like music.
Yeah.
So I think you were like tapping it, like just not even thinking about it. But I don't think it was as loud as they thought.
Well, if it helps, I cut myself on it. So there you go.
Well, it's good riddance. Good riddance.
And that's why me and Chase was laughing toward the end, as I did that. It was like, bing.
Amongst other things. So, yeah, Chase recorded before I did. And I went in after his was done. You walk in, they got this big suite room and all that. And you walk in, and they've got this like makeshift studio, which was kind of awesome. They're like 3 or 4 or 5 guys like behind the lights doing the boards and the cameras and the microphones and the lighting and everything. And then they've got against this one wall the big GOA banner, and there's 3 chairs there for John and Kaylee and myself. Kaylee in the middle, John on one side of me on the other. And then like in the back corner is the couch that's back there. And so while recording my episode, my chair was facing towards Kaylee, and John and I were both kind of facing towards the middle, looking at each other. And Kaylee was in the middle, but it was kind of at a 45-degree angle. So I'm sitting there being able to talk to John, but right over here is this couch. And that's where Chase and Clover decided to hang out during our podcast recording. And I knew 100% that if I ever looked over there, there is no telling what was going to happen over there.
Oh, yeah.
There could have been some weird stuff going over there trying to make me laugh or anyone else laugh. So I made a point not to look over there one time. And I was pretty proud of myself. I was very proud of myself.
You did very good.
And ironically, the only person that actually did laugh was dumbass Chase. So thank you for that.
So was your phone vibrating pretty bad during this?
Yeah, my phone was going on. I think I had 47 messages to check in that hour that we recorded, because everyone was trying to just like get me to laugh, and
there was only 3 words in all of it.
Oh yeah, sometimes there was one letter in the word. You know, they were spelling out specific words in our text chat, one letter at a time, and it was great. That's kind of how we play each other off, and that's fine. But I was extremely proud of myself because I think I had great self-control. So
that's
Ginger
why I put
did
my
not.
phone on silent.
Ginger did not. Ginger was unprofessional
looked.
as a kid. I'm just kidding. He did look.
Yeah.
He did look.
He looked and he messed up. He knew he looked messed up as soon as he looked over too.
Oh yeah, because all I could hear were you two was we had no headphones on, so I could hear Chase and Clover whispering back and forth to each other, and then that tinging noise was driving me nuts, and I had to stop. I'm like, whatever that is, it's got to turn off. I can't stand it. I thought it was Clover.
I thought it was just me. I thought I was hearing when you said that, and I was like, okay, he's hearing it too. And then the sound guys and the video guys and the light guys, the crew in the back were like, yeah, what the hell is that? You know, what is going on here? So
I don't know. What is that noise?
I don't know. But
very inappropriate comments going on in the background though.
100%.
Yeah, not just us. The crew was in on it too. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a fun time. It was a very fun recording session. I might have. I might have. So when I was waiting, Clover and I are waiting in the hallway at this hotel room, Hotel Suite 420, by the way. It was the green room. But we're sitting out there and they're recording with Chase, and guys walking down the hallway, and Clover and I are like just laughing. It's like, hey, sorry, man, my appointment is at 6:00. We have to, and the guys like looking at us like, what? It's kind of funny. Like, she's in there with a couple guys right now, and my appointment's at 6:00, and it was kind of interesting. It was funny. Sick sense of humor, as I know. That's kind of what you get around us. None of us are very normal in any way, shape, or form. But Kaylee was a great sport. It was great meeting her. She's got a great sense of humor. She was rolling with all the punches and had a great time. But so yeah, overall it was. I really enjoyed my time at TriggerCon. I will definitely plan on going back. I plan on going back next year, assuming that schedules work out with work and all that. If I can go, I'm definitely going to go. And obviously there's some things that need to be tweaked a little bit, but even Snow will tell you that the difference between last year and this year is remarkable. So there's no telling what, they'll do next year. And if they take some kind criticism and make some changes and doing some certain things, I don't think there's major changes that need to be made. I thought what they had this year overall was good. Nothing wholesale major changes, just tweak some things. And I think it'll be very, very successful. So if you guys are going to be in the Wichita area, let's assume it's going to be in late September again, and you have a chance to get to TriggerCon, I would highly suggest that you guys make TriggerCon next year. Chris, I'm sorry, brother. This was, it had been boring as hell for you. Do you have any questions or anything that you want to bring up or ask?
No, I mean, I actually enjoyed it. It was fun just listening in on everything. Now, I wanted to ask you, because back at the beginning of the show, we were talking about John saying there was only 600 or 700 people, probably minus the media and minus the vendors.
No, that's just probably like the general public. I would say that's probably, it's a very small, very, very small venue.
So I guess my question was it pretty easy to film and do the interviews, or was the venue so small that even 600 or 700?
Yeah, to me, it was fine. To me, I had zero problem with audio. I had zero problems at all.
So the video I dropped yesterday was me walking around, and I was wearing my Saramonic Lav, right? And I had the noise canceling, of course, on it. So that was me walking around with a pretty much day one in the evening, after lunch, like at the peak of everybody getting there on day one, which admittedly wasn't as many people as day two. But all of mine, I think you're the same way, aren't you, Ghost? All of my videos that will come out with booth videos, they're all day two with all of the crowd.
They are. Yep.
So,
same here.
I mean, you can definitely, if you've got a decent microphone, absolutely zero problem in there. Now, the lighting.
Lighting is
pretty
not
sad.
that, yeah.
Like SHOT Show dungeon quality lighting.
It's arena lighting way up in the rafters, and it's not the greatest lighting.
It's not good. But I mean, that's expected at shows, right? Like there ain't a whole lot you can do unless you want to carry around a bunch of lights, which is goofy.
Yeah,
look like Mil-Spec Monkey if you do that. Man, that dude, I don't know how he totes all that crap around. That's why he's so skinny, I guess.
It'll look like Snob first year of SHOT when he had like 17 cameras on and lights everywhere. He had like this contraption that he had like a back brace, like it was all the stuff hanging off. It was crazy.
Right, you got excellent video. It sucked my Thursday. I was done with that heavy ass.
We told you, we sat there and told you, bro, you won't make it 2 days. Yeah,
I made it 3.
Yeah, you did.
And didn't feel good about it either.
All right, Chris, what you got going on the channel? You got any? I know you got some cool stuff coming down the road. Tell people where they can find you and maybe some of the projects you're working on.
Thanks for the invite. I had a great time. I look forward to seeing everybody's videos on TriggrCon, and I think I probably definitely better go next year. It sounds like. So,
how far is your stuff from? It can't be terribly far, is it?
It's far enough. I'm going to fly.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm got a really exciting weekend planned. We're Steel Valley Casting, the bullet sponsor for my channel. They invited me over to Pennsylvania to a private range. We're going to be shooting 1,000 yards on Saturday, and I'm super excited to get over there with them. And then for the next couple of weeks, I'll be releasing the videos for the Kiger. Really liking that gun from Anderson. It's pretty cool. So
it is a good gun. I'll give you that much.
So thanks again for having me on, and glad you guys had a great time, and hopefully I'll be there with you next year.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you soon. Go check out Chris from the 740. Snob. You got any videos can be coming out from TriggerCon, or what kind of projects you got coming down the line?
I've released a couple of TriggerCon videos. I still have several more to go.
Okay, you got some more coming. Okay.
Yeah, and I would just say to everyone out there, if you ever wanted to go to SHOT and just absolutely can't get in, especially if you're not a creator or anything like that, go to something like TriggerCon. That was pretty neat. It's really a good show for especially for just an individual, general public person, not creator, because they get to experience a tiny, easy to handle
micro SHOT show. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's nothing. You can't compare it in any way to SHOT show.
No, or even NRAM. Yeah.
No, but you're not going to be overwhelmed there.
Yeah,
or get lost.
No, I think, and you brought up a great point. If someone, okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, unlike SHOT and NRA, especially for the general public, you get the range day, right? We need one of those. You're going to get a range day.
Absolutely. Yep. I will say this, and Snob brings up a great point. If you're brand new to content creation, or if you're thinking about becoming a creator out there, TriggerCon might be like the best first show to ever go to. You're going to get the vibe of having the booze and having to learn how to do a booth review, but it's small enough to where it's not over the top crazy. You'll have some of the nightlife after engagements, and then you have the range day. I think for someone who's especially just starting out, I think that TriggerCon might be the absolute perfect place to kind of start your show life as a creator. It's perfect for it, for sure. Chase, what's going on EAA? You know, you guys had a big week last week with I'm not sure how much you can talk about that, but I know you had a big week. How did range day go for you? What were the general public's or even the media that maybe you haven't seen before at one of these shows? How were the reaction to the MC14Ts and the 2311s and all that? Was it good positive feedback?
Oh yeah, range day went well for us. I mean, we went through a ton of ammo, almost killed the 10mm and 45 off, just about killed the 380 off. Had to go find more 9mm. Like it was a good time. I mean, 2311 did real well. 14T did extremely well. High powers ran. I mean, everything we took out there, it was a good time. I mean, everybody seemed to enjoy what they shot. Everybody got a chance at it. That's the beauty of those events is, you know, you get to put stuff like this in people's hands that don't get to play with us normally.
Yep. And some of the general public have been hearing people like us talking about the 2311, talking about the 14T for a long time. And hey, puppy. For some of these people, getting to actually shoot one was probably, amazing for some of these people, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was the first chance a lot of people had to put their hands on something like that. And speaking of getting to put my hands on, you know, the actual production 2311s when I got back was pretty nice too.
Mystic says she wasn't invited. That's between you and your husband. I'm just saying. So that's between you and your husband. I'm not going to get in the middle of that battle for a show. and I don't think he wants to be in the middle of that battle.
I'm not scared.
Yeah, you are. And we all are. Let's be honest. Ginger, overall, TriggerCon overall for you guys. We talked about that. Let's get you back to the 2A, 2 minutes for 2A with Gun Owners of America. Talk about maybe where people can find you. A lot of stuff is happening right now. If you're looking for an organization to support, maybe GOA is the one that you want to look at. If people out there looking to try to find more information or want to donate or become a member, tell people where they can find you guys.
All that stuff can be found at gunowners.org. You know, that's where you can go and donate. You'll find all the up-to-date stuff. I did see that Calaveras commented on the 11% tax from Greg Newsom. GOC is getting ready to do that, but I can't comment on open cases or anything like that. So I know that we're going to fight that. Got a new episode of State of the Second dropping tomorrow with Battle Buddy 3 Gun. So go check that out. Great nonprofit organization. Yes, Chase. Thank you.
GOA, Gingers of America. Yes.
Yeah, and it was cool going to TriggerCon, getting to see all y'all. From a vendor point, Range Day was really fun because I got to do it as media. So
yeah,
got to try out the 14T and got to try out the 2311 and a bunch of other stuff. And I brought Mike Mills over to Chase's booth, and he shot that. Oh no, he shot that 2311 and was like super excited about it. So yeah. Chase, remind me to get you over that info later.
Snob, best thing you shot at Range Day. Like, what was your favorite thing at Range Day?
My favorite thing at Range Day. Probably my favorite thing at the show was that Shiloh Tech 365.
Okay.
Thing. I really enjoyed that.
That was that aluminum frame thing. Yeah.
It was modular frame. It shot really well. It was really nice. I mean, I shot a lot of fun stuff at Range Day.
Yeah.
If it helps, the 2311 was absolutely my favorite thing.
I was going to say, if you ever want to talk to Chase again, you might want to mention that. I'm just saying.
No, too late. I will say that Shallow Tech, thing is awesome because I was looking at one. I was like, well, I just happen to carry one, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah. Clover, what was your favorite thing at range day? Favorite product to shoot or mess with or whatever?
Man, favorite thing at range day. Huh. You know, I was really because it's something that I haven't got to shoot, and like you have, I know you have, and of course I've seen them being made and everything else. Was the one from Lionheart?
Oh, the Vulcan, yeah.
Man, nice shooting. Just
not for
nice.
me, but that was all me. So,
well, yeah, you were trying to pull some tactical sighting picture or something. Though now you know.
I just you guys know I do not like handguns with optics on them.
Yeah,
and this one for some reason I decided I went to absolute co-witness and dot the I with the red dot on that handgun, and you can imagine I was not hitting steel.
Yeah, that don't work for the lower third, right?
But that was me, not the handgun. The handgun felt great. I just couldn't shoot it at all because I can't shoot optics on handguns.
One of these days you'll come into 2023 and learn how to shoot an optic.
Are you calling me a FUD?
Yes, 100%.
Oh. He's got to get rid of that droid first.
Yeah.
I can't get rid of what?
Got to get rid of your droid first, bro.
No, that's not going to happen. My wife would appreciate that too. But
so she hates the green text also.
Oh yeah, her and my daughter are both iPhone people. Yeah, absolutely.
Can we take you out of the group chat and put them in? Was it you and Clover?
You probably have a lot more fun, that's for sure. Yeah. Ginger, what was your favorite thing at range day that you shot or messed with?
There was two that I really liked. It was the Oracle 2311 Star Chase. That one was in their 2311 as well. So those two were my fun. I already said I really liked the 2311 previously. And then
so
those are the things we
yeah.
It's been great knowing you, John.
Yeah, I know. And then Global Ordnance had their new Grand Power Sport on the table, and that was super dope.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. Yeah. Did you all shoot the rotating barrel from Global?
Yeah, that's
I did not.
That was pretty sweet shooting too.
That's the one I shot. That new, they've got one that's like a competition model now.
I'll tell you what I did shoot at Global. They had the Strybog and 10 millimeter suppressed. I'm not gonna lie, that might be my favorite thing that I shot all day. That 10 millimeter suppressed felt like a 22 LR. It was unbelievable. The best
actually was shooting the 22.
He was, yeah. I do want to give a big shout out to Snob. While we were at the Radical booth and I was working with her DMR, he was getting my distance for me, and he was getting my adjustments, my holdovers.
Those were tough shots. You were probably what?
They were tough shots. Like that target was like at least 20. That target was literally like 20 yards away from me with the DMR. But he was calling me his, hold it right edge with 3 clicks left, and he's calling me every time I take a shot. I mean, obviously you can't miss it from 20 yards, literally 20 yards. He's like, miss. Then all of a sudden he goes, I think that one went over the berm. And like people are starting to look at me. I'm like, you're gonna get me kicked off this range.
Both the guys started staring with these big old deer in the headlights. It was great.
You're like, how did you miss? You could throw a rock at that target from here and hit it, you know? It's like, that one went over the berm. Oh, I know. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's why that particular section was the longest section. And I left it all there because of the correspondence. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that watch that video that think that I actually missed all those shots and that I sent one over the berm. So thank you for that. I appreciate you very much.
It was great.
And I very easily could have put like some writing on there saying I didn't actually, but you know what? I don't care. And that's the fun part of it.
Well, you could have just put music over it too.
The funny thing is,
No, that was no, but that was the cool part. I wanted that in there. I thought that was hilarious. So,
well, I had to try to mute an F-bomb on mine thanks to you.
Well, it wasn't my fault if someone came up and stuck a suppressor where it doesn't need to go on a human man's body. Okay. So yeah, I did not mean to drop an F-bomb right in the middle of your video. It was like right in the middle of the shooting. I'm like, what the? Well, I didn't realize that I did that until I watched your video. I was like, oh snap!
I get it, but it looks like in the video, because I'm swinging through with that shotgun, it looks like you're asking me what I'm doing, right? Because that's the way my wife took it. Was like,
oh yeah, no. I won't name names, but
the swing on a shotgun, and I'm like, oh, that's not what the issue was. That was
I won't name names, but someone decided that they were going to have fun with yeah.
Well, the wording and the timing was impeccable.
I guess I never really noticed. I have to go back to your video and look at that and see that. I guess I didn't realize that.
Because I shoot 2 rounds and then it's like, what the F are you doing? Right? And then it's like, I was like, does he not understand shotguns? And I'm like, no, not really. And that's what's kind of funny about it too, is because you don't really. So
I don't know.
It can be misunderstood.
I had to ask Clover how to load a specific shotgun.
You did, but that's not a video. You didn't show that. You didn't make shorts out of that.
Did you video that?
Probably.
I don't know. It was not in my raw. It wasn't in my raw stuff.
Oh, it wasn't? Yeah. Maybe not. I could have swore I videoed you loading stuff, but maybe not. G23 says, everyone that knows you, Ghost, knows that you can shoot over a berm. Hell, you can't see over one. Well, most people can't see over berms.
What's funny is the radical defense guys actually said that they're pretty sure somebody sent one over the berm earlier that morning.
There's no way. Like, it's literally 20 yards from.
Well, see, they said they had to move the targets down on the stands, is what he was telling us.
Really?
They were pretty sure someone sent them over the berm earlier.
Wow.
You got to realize what goes into range days sometimes.
Well, if it's really close and you tried for like a headshot really close, I could see possibly.
Maybe?
Yeah, possibly.
Well, let's be honest, though. Where that range was, you could have sent everything over that berm and you weren't going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
You were fine.
You might have got a bigger corn.
You would damage some corn, though, real quick. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the only thing you'd damage.
And it was probably an Instagram influencer that sent it over the berm, probably not even the general public.
TikTok, man. TikTok.
I was thinking of one in general.
White Commando?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, wait. He only uses 50s to do that.
I'm pretty sure that he's the one who shot down that F-35. I'm just saying. Q from G-Webs. Any surprises at the event? I think for me, the whole event was a surprise, like in a positive way. Not that I went there with thinking it's going to be crappy. I didn't know what to expect. So any surprises, I would say the whole event in itself was a positive surprise. Just feel free to just let's not go through the room. Let's just talk. Any surprises at the event for any of you guys?
Oh, there was a surprise there. People just didn't know it was there.
Bluetooth speaker. Oh, what now? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said there was a surprise there. People just didn't know it.
That's true. That's fair. He also says, what would you do differently if you were to go back to the event? Honestly, nothing.
I would have stayed at the casino.
Okay. Yes. I definitely. I was telling TJ that. I was telling my wife that. I think I was even telling Chase that. I'm staying at the casino next year.
Yeah, it was a 30-minute drive back to our Airbnb from the casino, and I had to do it 3 different nights.
And the earliest we left was like at 2:00. So I think that the casino. I think I was talking to Chase or something, and if we got Clover and I were to share a room or something, we'd probably pay the exact same price we paid for the house, Sorry, TJ. No, but I'm just saying, I think that if it's possible to go to the casino and stay at the hotel there, because that's where we ended up every night. And it might be worth a little bit of extra more money so that we don't have to drive half an hour home.
Food's right there, right? So
and
you don't got to worry
right
about
there.
You don't got to worry about finding food.
And the shuttle to the range days there. I mean, you don't have to worry about everything's right there.
Yep.
So I think you're right. I think
it just made more sense to have stayed there. I think for me, anyways.
So 2 things for me. Number one, make sure my badge holder is not twisted, or ask a chick to fix it for me right off the bat
first, instead of waiting an hour to ask them. Yeah.
That killed like
fair.
2 hours of day one for me. Like, yeah.
What was the second thing?
That was it. That I would either not let it get twisted to start with, or find a chick like right off the bat.
Two things. Oh, okay. I guess he's making one thing into 2 things.
It's Clover.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Chase, from a vendor standpoint, anything that you would do differently?
2-day show.
That's where I was getting ready to go with. I think that we've talked about this before, and I think a lot of us talked about it the other night. I know Chase and I have talked about it. I know Clover and I have talked about it. I think what they could do is Friday, open it up for a couple hours, like from 4 to 6 or 3 to 5, but that's media only. For like 2 hours on Friday. Let you guys come in and set your booths up all Friday and do all of that at like 3 to 5 or 2 to 4, whatever, for 2 hours. Let the media come in real quick. And on Friday, not on Thursday, and then Saturday be the actual day. And then I think a 2-day event, because I could drive in early Friday morning, get there by, whatever, and meet that, whatever. I think if it was a 2-day event, it would have been perfect. I agree with that, Chase.
And like what we talked about before is you make it a 2-day event, but that Friday, like we're talking about the media, and then you have that media industry mixer immediately following that Friday night.
And not half an hour from the venue, have it
the venue.
Or you know what? Let's go to the casino and get like a big conference room, or rent one of those restaurants out there.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they should have. I think that the casino / hotel should have played a bigger role in the event as far as organization, because everyone kind of evolved and revolved around that casino and hotel.
Well, I think they tried to get, because the casino has an arena. I think they tried to get it, but then Travis Tritt was in town.
No, I get that. I'm talking about like for like a mixer or something. They could have had like a conference room.
I would have liked
and just like catered it or something, gotten a buffet or something,
I would have liked the whole show to be there.
Oh, I think if they could get the whole show, if that arena is big enough, if the whole show could be managed to be there, that would actually be amazing.
I mean, it's not like Hartman Arena is very big, so I couldn't imagine that not being. They could have spread it up between the arena and a couple conference rooms, and they could have sure made it happen.
Yep, I agree. Geez, how is having a gun event in Kansas? Should there be more? I don't see why not. I don't have a problem with Kansas. It's the FUD Kansas. We're the tactical Kansas here in Arkansas, but no, I had no problem. It was a 6.5 hour drive for me. It was easy.
Pretty laid back, except for the gunfire.
Very laid back. Night. Yeah, we had at our house. We were there, and all of a sudden, in the middle of nothing, but maybe a street or two over, it was very close. Someone emptied about a 15-round mag.
Controlled fire, too.
Controlled fire, yeah.
Not just random.
Controlled fire, and it was definitely the same gun. We were definitely in the city limits. And a few minutes later, there was a bunch of sirens. So not real sure what happened. I didn't check the news later on that night to find out someone was killed, like a street over,
Yeah.
Our house was weird. Our neighborhood was weird. Like you look down to the left, one direction, and you've got a house with 3 BMWs in the front, and you look 2 houses down, and it looked like the Clampetts met Compton.
Yeah.
It was strange. It was strange. What were you saying?
And more Pontiac Sultus than I've ever seen on a single street.
Yeah, there were two Sultus in the same road. So that's odd.
Yeah.
To be fair,
you guys only stay one step above Jeff.
This is true.
It depends. It depends.
From our point of view, now for TJ's point of view, it was a huge step up from staying with Jeff.
Well, when we book and my wife's not going, we don't pay no attention to nothing. We just look for price
because we're not going to be there that much. And the way we looked at, we saw where the casino was, and we saw where the Hartman Arena was, and we were literally in the middle. So we were 15 minutes either way.
And
so
it was the range, but
the range, yeah.
And we didn't know at that point. We didn't know at that point we had to take a bus.
We had to go to the casino for the range. Yeah.
See, I value my life more than my wife's, so I care more when she's not there.
It's funny. Well, the reviews didn't say anything about it. They weren't bad. It wasn't like this is a horrible.
No, they were. And that's the thing. Reviews.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't a horrible neighborhood. Like there was high end nice cars there. There was crappy houses. There was crappy cars. It was a bipolar neighborhood. Like seriously.
Yep. I saw very nice cars, and I saw a dude running and jumping over a fence in the same breath. So
we've seen motorized bicycles, regular bicycles, tractor.
We had an 18-wheel rig drive down the street. Out of randomly. So I thought it was Chicago Mike. So got real excited.
We thought he'd done found us. He was going to ask us how we were doing.
What's up, Kansas?
Lord. All right. On that note, let's get the hell out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Next week we have Dave from TriggerCon and from Rainier.
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here, man. Say hi to Cheech and Chong for me. That reference. I don't know. There might be people that don't do that reference.
Is he actually going to show up? Did you talk to him about that?
Yeah, I sent him an email today, and he confirmed.
Chase, can you explain that?
Oh no, he was going to show up last week. He was flying last week. Like flights got delayed. He was in the air.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that now. Yeah.
What were you saying now? Who was that? Snob?
I was just going to say, Chase, can you explain that reference to John? Because he clearly doesn't understand it.
So back in like the late 70s, early, there was a comedic group called Cheech and Chong, and I'll let Chase finish the rest with Dave's not here. Chase isn't listening either.
No, I'm laughing too hard. I can't do it now.
The funny thing is we have other people now doing this with Ginger, so it's
Kaylee loves it.
This was my whole weekend. Whole weekend.
Mexican American.
Dave's not here. Dave's not here, man. Yeah. So
no, man, Dave's not here.
Just go to YouTube and just Google Cheech and Chong Dave. It's a song you will thank us for it. So
you're welcome.
All right, you're welcome. All right, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure you get out to the range. Be more proficient with your firearms. Stay in tune what's going on with your state, local, and federal elected officials or elected representatives on 2A matters. If they're not representing the manner that you think they should, make that change, especially next year, 2024 elections. Make that change. Was it a Michael Jackson song? We can make a change. Make that change.
Hey.
Man in the mirror.
Man in the mirror.
October 2nd. Keep your eyes on Monday.
I'm under NDA. Right. I'm under NDA, dude. I can't even mention October 2nd.
Yeah. Everybody pay attention.
You can mention it, but I don't want to get in trouble with Sam. So
yeah. I'm surprised Omar ain't screwed it up yet, but yeah.
Oh, shit, right?
So I'll tell everybody, pay attention come Monday. Something cool's coming.
Monday, bright and early.
Monday.
That's when they're releasing the belt-fed semi-auto. Oh, shit.
The 240s.
Revolver. The belt-fed semi-auto revolver. Yeah.
It's the belt-fed. I'll just go ahead and talk about it. It's the belt-fed semi-auto lever 410.
Ooh,
sweet.
Nice. Yes. Made in Turkey, right? Of course.
Made in Kosovo.
Kosovo.
Man, don't give all the secrets away.
My bad, man. I told you I didn't want to say anything.
It's got F-117 parts on it.
F-35 found in South Carolina.
It's got a 50 cal hole in it.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Heard it came from
All right.
Louisiana.
All right, we're getting out of here because After Chat's getting ready to get crunk. So I'll see you all next week. Bye.